Doing the live things. Red lights on. What is happening, FEESHIN friends? Welcome to another episode. Luckily, I was able to make it. Dizzle and I did a little, well, I shouldn't really say Dizzle and I did a little fishing today, but we'll
We did
save that.
separate fishing.
Well, we did kind of separate fishing today. But I took a nap for, I don't know, 45 minutes, an hour in my truck because I felt like
At least.
absolute dog crap. And as soon as I got home, Dizzle, I probably slept for another 3 hours. So
Really?
I'm feeling, I'm feeling better. And I don't know if I had another migraine deal. What's going on with that? But I'm here. So, that's good. Doing the things and the stuff. I was telling Wendell, speaking of Wendell, we got a guest tonight. Mr. Wendell, how are you, sir?
Doing well. Thank you. I got some fishing in this morning as well.
Did you catch any fish?
You know what? I went 4 hours skunked. And I was like, oh,
no
crap.
kidding.
This is going to be my second skunk of the season.
Ooh.
In the last 5 minutes,
Oh,
I'm literally
Jesus.
rolling into the dock and I pick up a 3-pounder. I'm like, oh, that feels
Dude,
so
like-
freaking good.
See, it only takes
I
that
don't
one
have enough.
cast.
I don't have enough hands or toes to count how many skunks I've had.
Jeez.
But
I
that's
tried out
been
a new
like
lake.
that's been like, oh, I got, my whole mantra is like, if you get an hour to spare before something has got to be done, just go out and fish. Do it.
Yeah.
Get after it.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like hour sessions, 45-minute sessions, stuff like that, where there's not a whole lot of time to break stuff down and go from there. But yeah, tons of skunks.
I can see that. I usually go out for like 4 or 5 hours at a time, so that I guess that kind of
Mhm.
makes sense. But yeah, I was a little nervous. I see Gramps over here. 15 hours yesterday. Holy crap! One fish.
Ooh.
That's putting in some time, boss. That's a lot of time on the water. 15 hours.
Mm.
Woo!
It's rough. That is rough, man. We got the whole crew in here tonight. I want to thank all of our members: Liza, Jermaine, Ralph. I see in here. Kuda's hopping through. Man, we got everybody kicking and hanging out.
RPF
on
in
a
the
Saturday.
house.
Mr. RPF. Look at all the big names in here: Gramps, Matthew, Scott, G Fan. Oh, G Fan, I haven't sent your stuff out yet, but it's all ready to go in a package. Thanks for sending me your address. And I've got pretty much everybody done on my board. Mike, I had questions on, so I got that done. Donald Brown. I don't know whatever happened to Donald Brown and his box of lures. I need to double check that. And Fat Boy Fishing, who should be renamed Fit Boy Fishing. I will get you something, my friend. So
Skinny child fishing.
yeah, skinny little boy fishing because you've lost about a bunch of weight and look fit as I
Person
did
and a
in
half at
high
least.
school.
Nice.
So Wendell, let's get it kicked off. Wendell, we were also going to have Gabe 10 Horse Monty on tonight. He had to work a 12-hour shift, so he is not going to be
Yeesh.
joining us. Yeah, stinks. But I think we're still going to do the plan. The plan tonight is going to be bank versus boat versus yak. So I've got some questions coming up, and we're all going to answer. So I'll be kind of team boat / bank, since I'll be the speaker for that one. Wendell will be the yak guy, and Dizzle will be our primary bank guy. But if the question revolves around leaving your googie trash along the shore again, Dizzle, I'm gonna have to choke you out. Somebody said I should make a video of watching Dizzle from the bushes like a DNR agent, and then when he leaves his googie trash there, I just run down and choke him out. I said, yeah, that'd be a really good video. I like that. So,
Like they did with the one dude out in, was he from California?
I don't know what that.
Snagger McGee.
Oh, Mike Long.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike Long.
Yeah.
You'd full on debone
Ghillie
ghillie
suit.
suit in the bushes. Would be funny.
Don't mind me. So Wendell, give us your story. Wendell had me on a live a while back, and we've kind of been playing tag, trying to get him on here. So I am happy he could join us. He made it kind of last minute, back from a family event, so I'm glad he made time for us. So Wendell, tell us about you, your story, how you got into fishing. Give us your 30. I should rename it a 30-second elevator FEESHIN.
You could just say
Intro?
your elevator pitch.
My elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So elevator pitch on fish. I've been fishing. My dad took me fishing minnows, 2 baits growing up. So I've been doing it for a long,
Minners.
long time. Oh
You
yeah.
refer to them as
Oh,
minners.
sorry. Minners. All right.
Meaner
I didn't
crawler.
really hop back into like full-fledged kayak fishing deep dive to like 2018. And it wasn't until 2020 that I start my first video on YouTube. And then it really began. This is going to be more than 30 seconds. Is that all right? It'll be like a
timer's
minute.
going.
I'll
You
do a
got
minute.
6 seconds left. All right, next
So,
segment. So no.
what my lord. No, it what happened was my father-in-law passed in the home which I was staying in at like a young age 60, and I was thinking and doing some hard think. I was like, I might not be around. Like things happen. It's crazy. But I love fishing. I want to be able to teach my 2 daughters, Mercy and River, age 7 and 5, how to fish, but they might not want to learn whenever I want to teach them, right? I might not be here. So how can I teach them how to fish? I was like, YouTube. So I started doing it. It was fun and just kind of doing it for my girls. And then my wife and I starting to get into conversations about how much money I was spending on it.
Ooh.
And so I was like,
then
all
I got
right.
a separate checking account.
Yeah, right. And so
Business
from there, I was like,
account.
oh, well, then I got to monetize, right? So at least it would just cover and wash out the channel costs. And so I did that, became monetized, and then it just kept growing. I was like, oh, I did the math. I was like, this could be on trend, a full-time gig in 5 years ago. 5 years, I could do this, which is just like crazy to me, right? It used to be if you wanted to be and do this full time, you had to win tournaments, but now because of YouTube, anybody has a shot at this, and so that's kind of my story in a nutshell. And it's been an absolute blast. The community's freaking awesome, and I just love it.
So are you full time, or are you just saying that? Well, it could be an option with all the different stuff out there. You mean
On trend right now, I could be full time in 2 to 4 years from right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
it's
Yeah, I've kicked it around, and I don't have the balls for it, man. Like with so much uncertainty in it, like I don't know. I still don't know what I want to grow. What do I want to do when I grow up? To be honest, so still trying to decide. That's cool. So would you, if in 2 to like let's say 3 years, you have enough stuff put together, would you? Is that like your kind of your move? Is that what you're looking to go toward?
that's it. Yeah, I mean,
Really
I'm
awesome.
I'm to the point where I tell people, and I'm planning on it. Right, I'm mitigating risk right now, like with cars and like roofs on the houses. So when I do go full time, I don't have like large scale things that could go wrong that could like drain the bank account. And so I'm working on that stuff now so I can do that.
That is awesome.
No, we'll see. I mean, it could be 5 to 6 years. Who knows, right? But that's it will happen. It's just a matter of when.
And that's exactly the mindset you have to have. Like if you want it bad enough, you'll make it work. Like I saw that all the time in the fight game of people that, wanted to get to that next level. And it's like, can regular people do it? Sure. But not all the regular people want to get completely out of their comfort zone and understand some things that might come. And yeah, gotta want it bad enough, dude. That's awesome. That is cool as hell. Donald,
Go ahead.
I did get your email. I just checked now. So I think maybe it was losing big fish. Somebody, I feel like, and maybe that wasn't it. I will double check here. But Dizzle, you've also had some kind of good fishing lately. What's been working in your neck of the woods, feller?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's awesome that you've made the first step and you have the goals and kind of the outlook, going forward up to what you should do. So far, I just have these 3 hard drives full of like fishing videos that I haven't done anything with.
Oh, it's brutal looking at that. Hours of editing.
Yeah, so this is like
this guy literally. So Wendell was asking me before. He's like, "How many lives have you and Dizzle done? Like, you guys have done this for a bit." I'm like, "I don't know. We've done it for a little bit." I went and looked. 138 lives we've done.
Shut up.
You shut up. That's
really you guys. That's a lot.
Yeah. So think of that whole time Dizzle's been taking footage. So he's literally he could hop on and have years of footage of videos without ever fishing a day again. So
this is this one's 5 terabytes
into it, Dizzle.
1 terabyte, 3 terabytes. I know at least one is full. A couple others are half full. But anyway, yeah. So here's the breakdown of my last week, give or take a week or so.
Real quick, Tyler,
go ahead.
Became a YouTube member. Tyler, thank you. All my members, appreciate you, love you. Okay, go ahead.
When was the TJ's live? When was that? Monday?
Tuesday.
Monday,
that was Tuesday night.
Tuesday. Okay, so Tuesday till today. So Tuesday night I go out fishing, and Iowa here, God, it's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It finally broke.
It was
But you're talking
insanity. Yeah, it was.
temps,
We had
upper
records.
90s to
Yeah.
what, 106
We had 100,
on Thursday.
5 one day with like 115
And,
something heat
and that
index.
doesn't include the heat index either.
Yeah.
Like that is ridiculous. So I decided to go out fishing on Tuesday when at 7 o'clock, well, actually 9 o'clock when I looked at my phone after the sun was down, it was still 100 degrees. So I've caught a few big fish, nothing crazy, nothing over 5 pounds or nothing, breaking the 6 pound mark. So Friday or Tuesday, I catch one. And as soon as I hook up to it, I'm like, this fish is big. This is a big fish, or like it's a catfish or something. It's staying down. It's pulling drag on something where my drag's super tight. I get it in, ends up being 5.62. And I'm like, okay, I've never put a scale on a fish and remembered what the big weight of my biggest was, my PB was. So I'm like, screw it. I'm calling 5.62 my PB and I'll just go from there. I'm sure I probably caught more closer to 6, but hey, 5.62 is what I'm calling. That was on a chatterbait. The next night, I go out again. What are you showing there?
So today, when I went and did my
Clear?
solo fishing trip, Cooler Lid just said the HD color for the Chapo is like life. Dude, I was
Yeah.
throwing the bluegill today, and it looks pretty mean in the water. Sorry to interrupt you there, Dizzle. That
Yeah,
was
no
very
problem.
rude of me.
Next
also,
day,
so the thing,
yeah,
guys and gals, take this for a grain of salt, because today I didn't believe Dizzle. He was showing me pictures. I weighed one today on Dizzle's scale. I weighed that fish today, and it came out as 3.5 pounds on Dizzle's scale.
Wow.
So
I want that
take
scale.
this, yeah,
You
take
got an
this
affiliate link
kind
for
of
that?
grain of salt, but
So,
I'm
okay.
teasing. We love you,
back
Dizzle.
to my stories here. The very next day I go out and I fish again, and nothing, no luck, no real anything. I throw the Hellraiser, Bombcast, and Brown Bait Company. He's in the chat right now. Last time we were on a live with him, he said, you can take the Hellraiser and let it sink and almost like yo-yo it up, kind of like if you were to yo-yo a lipless or something like that. Just so happened I needed to pick a small wind, like a small backlash out of my line, so it sunk anyway. So I go to pull it up, bam, snapped again, and I'm like, holy this is another big fish. Reel it in, ends up being 5.52 on a Hellraiser.
Dang.
Last night I go out,
Which that really made me salty that you caught that big one on the Hellraiser, because I've thrown it. That's actually going to be a video come up. I'm not going to spoil it, but I've thrown that a couple times, and for me, every single one has come off within a couple reels of the cast or of the hook.
yeah, this guy was
the blow up. So
he was pinned. He was not going anywhere. The next night after that, I go out to the place that Debo and I were supposed to go today, and backlash on a previous cast. I'm throwing, what was it, the Spro Flappy Kicky Feet Frog, whatever that one's called.
yep, you got the fixed up one with the weight on the shank of the
Inside.
hook
Yep.
that they stole from me. They stole the fix from me, and they didn't even give me any credit. So thanks, bro.
And so I'm like, okay, I need to cast this out, get this knot out. I start reeling it in. Bam. 5.3, 5.4, something like that. 5 pounds, 4 ounces. So 3 outings, basically 3 fish, 16 pounds. And then there was another kicker in there, probably another like 4 pounds or something like that. All at the same lake. But Debo and I talked today, and it's weird. I don't know if you've experienced this, where lakes are more productive in different parts of the day. We've determined this is very much a night lake. We're an evening bite lake versus a morning or afternoon lake.
I've got one of those here. Do you have any of those, Wendell? Where like you go early morning and I never catch crap on topwater. Like it's always, it's weird as hell. That same lake, anytime I've made a video, like catching really good stuff and like watching them school, always at night. I don't know if there's a trend of that in some lakes or if that's like
Look at these girthy fish.
I don't know.
Oh, chunky.
That belly is
You might
just like,
never
that's
get
like,
that fat.
that's like spring getting ready, feeding up to go into to spawn type of bellies.
Dude,
They're
it's already
eating.
leaves were already turning and starting to fall here. And Dizzle and I were going through one of our state parks, and what the hell, man? It's already September.
Mm-hmm.
All the fish where I'm at, they're all skinny and long. It's funny how you guys are talking about like weights. I used to like weigh my fish, but when I got into kayak fishing, it's all
you're
catch
one of
board.
those guys now.
I am one of those guys. So now it's all like
Length.
8-10 inch, 19.75. I don't even weigh them anymore because that's not my world anymore. And so when you show me that big chunky fish, I'm like, I don't care if I want them long and skinny. I don't care right now. I'm one of those guys. What do you mean I'm one of those guys?
Oh no, nothing. No, there was nothing.
The reason I don't
no sort of put down to that.
The reason I don't necessarily like length is because not every 21-inch fish is going to be the same poundage.
Right.
But see, everything. So that's actually a perfect point that Wendell brings up, because success is relative, right? So like I could be fishing my lake and be completely happy with a 3-pounder. Then you get these pricks on social media. They're like, "Oh, you think that's big?" Like anybody that posts something, and if they take time out of the day to yuck your yum, or put down something that you're proud of, yeah, yuck your wow, or I don't know what you'd say. They're a piece of crap. Like people that take time to do that, like let's just be honest, they're a piece of crap. Any good person would just be like, "Oh, cool, I'm proud of you," you know?
Right.
A 3.5-pound fish could be the biggest fish in that lake, right? Just like for a lot of yak people, success is length, right? You hear that all the time. People are like, "I used to weigh it," but that doesn't matter in yak fishing, right? It's the length. So it's like you completely retrain your brain, and it's like, what is a good day for me? You know, you could catch a 15-inch fish that's 5 pounds, and that sucks in your tournament, but you catch a 23-incher that's skeleton bones, 2 pounds. You know, it's weird, but that's, and obviously those are dramatic, but success is in the eye of the holder. So
yeah.
Let's see, Gators. We got to give Randy crap, because you wouldn't believe how bad he bullies me off camera. He makes sure to do it off camera, so I can't capture it. Okay, so tonight we'll be doing a giveaway. We'll figure out what the giveaway is. We're already 16 minutes in. Usually we're at around the hour mark. We'll get the giveaway going. 200 people watching. Hit the thumbs up. It's free. If you like it. If you don't like it, it's fine. Thumbs down it too. I never get mad at people that don't like my stuff, as long as it's constructive feedback and criticism. Because I take it like music.
You got a stupid fake beard, duh.
Yeah, if you talk about my stupid fake beard, you're dead to me. That's dumb feedback. But if you're like, "Oh, I don't like it because you don't do boat fishing and I only tournament fish," noted. I get it. We'll part ways. Love you. Hope you have good luck. But it's just like music, I'll listen to something that I absolutely love, and somebody else hears the same thing. They're like Slipknot. There was there's like this lady reacting to a Slipknot thing the other day on YouTube, and I was like cracking up. She's like, "Oh, these guys are so scary. This is horrible. Who can listen to this?" But anyway, okay. So anyway, bank versus boat versus yak. Okay. So I kind of prepped Wendell with the first one. I'm gonna be our sit-in boat guy, going off the old boat experience with Dad, my aluminum little boat. Dizzle will be our bank connoisseur, and Wendell will be our yak guy. So first question, boys. What do you think is one lure that works better in your system for fishing than it does for the others? So for boat, I'm going to say it, and this doesn't mean like you can only use it in one, but it like definitely has a distinct advantage over one of the other two. So for me, I'm going to say drop shot. I hate it. I would rather cut off my pinky toe than throw it. But it's definitely something that works a lot better from a boat. Trying to throw it deep and then drag it back to shallow bank fishing, it's so hard. You lose so many of them. You could definitely do it from a yak too, obviously. But I think that's one that's very well suited for off bank fishing. What do you guys got? Dizzle,
Real quick, Bassless Chaps just said you can get those glasses and beard at the Halloween store right now for $9.99.
Go as Debo for Halloween. Wear a random fishing hat, glasses, a dark beard, and a Taco Warehouse shirt. I'm going as Debo for Halloween. Dude, if anybody dresses up for me as Halloween, send me that picture. If you're actually out trick-or-treating as Debo, I'll hook you up with a special package. Maybe we'll do that for Halloween.
If you come to my house, I'll give you extra candy as well.
Ooh.
Yes. I'd like the whole bowl is yours.
He's the Wendell, he's one of the ritzy houses that gives the full Snickers bars.
Full Candy bar.
Yeah. You go specially out of your way to hit those places.
I'm the one that leaves the bowl out in the front, but I have a Ring camera. And so and then I watch it afterwards to see what kids are greedy. So I'm like, okay, that kid's greedy. And that kid's greedy.
Wendell, did you say where you're from? State-wise?
Canton, Ohio. So Northeast Ohio. Also known as
closer to Pennsylvania.
I thought you were South Ohio. Okay.
No, No, you might better know as Caribbean of the Midwest. That's
Mm.
kind of maybe not.
How far from Pennsylvania is that?
Like
Not
2
too far,
hours.
yeah.
I'm like hour and 45. I'm in Pennsylvania. I could be in
Wow.
Pittsburgh in 2 hours.
It's just crazy. Like as I'm looking at chat here and I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, you totally sound like this other YouTube guy that I watch, Beards and Bikes. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
No.
It's this guy that does like a bunch of bike stuff, like motorcycle stuff,
Nice.
and your accents are kind of the same. It just popped into my head who you reminded me of when you were speaking. Not that I know the dude or anything, but
Is it my
random.
accent or my lisp? Because I have a ton of people who make fun of my lisp in my videos.
No, it's more. I don't know what it is. You sound almost identical to this guy. So Beards and Bikes, look it up afterwards. It's the main guy. I think you two sound alike.
That's his other channel, Dizzle.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this is
well, damn! Congrats on that channel. It's got millions.
That'd be awesome.
Oh.
This is interesting. As I shoot more videos, and Debo, you guys might understand this as well. But more and more people keep saying, "Oh, you look like some random person." It's happening on the regular now. People that have never in my entire life, it just happens to be in that particular video with how I was sitting or whatever I was wearing that day. You look like this famous person. I'm like, who is this person? I'm looking them up. I'm like, I look nothing like that person.
The three that always pop up for me are AJ McLean from was he Backstreet Boys or NSYNC, whichever the hell one he was from.
He was Backstreet.
Backstreet Boys. AJ McLean, Burley, and then there's some guy that does like vape reviews, like I don't know, some vape smoker guy. Yeah, so they say I look like him, and I'm like, well, that's definitely not me. Okay, what do you boys got for lures? Do you feel like there's one that works better from your fishing deal than the others?
Golly.
I'll just personal preference, and I love fishing a jig from my yak. I just love it. I have the most success the last 2 months being able to. There's some spots and some lakes I fish that I get through the spot that boats can't get to, and then it opens up, and I fish it along ledges that are not accessible by the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the last 2 months, I've been in the 97 inches over for 5 fish, and the primarily being caught on the jig because I can get back in these places. I'm even throwing it like in 2 feet of water and popping it back to me as I'm sitting like in the pads in places that you simply can't reach by bank or boat. And so for me, that has been killing it. Peanut butter and jelly jig with like a KVD rodent green pumpkin trailer.
What's your go-to jig? Like what's your favorite to throw?
I don't know the favorite to throw, but I've been having a ton of luck on the 3/8 ounce monster bass tungsten head football jig. But
see, that's another one that I never throw from the bank really.
Oh, really?
Like that's a deeper dragon boat yak deal.
Yep. So I find the ledge that I can get to, throw it shallow, and just start slowly popping it down. And man,
is your kayak a sit above? Or is it like one that you can also like stand up and comfortably fish in standing?
Oh yeah. So I have a bona fide P127. So for those who don't fish yaks, whenever you hear a number after a kayak, that's the length. So 127 is 12 foot 7 inches.
Okay.
So it tracks really well. It's pretty long.
I thought those numbers were how much overrated they are over a John boat.
Touche.
Kidding.
Yeah, so I to sit on top. It's a pedal drive because I don't like paddle. I own a paddle kayak, but I just don't like it. I only pull it out when I go adventure fishing. It's super lightweight and drag it through the woods and hop into a pond. And there's a lot of that type of fishing in Southern Ohio that I go, like strip mine fishing. But yeah, I can stand up in it. It's like sitting in a lawn chair. Got my rudder control right here. It's almost like second nature. I don't even think about it anymore. And so I'm really great at positioning. Even it could be 15, 18 mile per hour winds, and I'm still out there in my pedal drive kayak, picking them up. So
that was one thing I always had a question about is like, I kind of have when I fish with a jig, I kind of have a violent hook set.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And just a little. And so like, I feel I just don't know how that would feel in a kayak. If it's something you just got to get used to. I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna wibble and wobble you a little bit, or I don't know.
I mean, it definitely the hook set I don't notice, right?
Okay.
Um, I mean, I have a pretty extra long pole for my jig pole, and so I'm picking up a lot of line. So I always get the hook set, but if it's a big one, it starts moving you around. And just like you said, a couple days ago, I hooked into one, and it's one of those ones where you think you're gonna hook set it over your shoulder, but you stop because it's just not moving like a hook set log. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, nice, this is a good one. And then it starts swimming toward me. I'm like, oh crap. Oh crap. It's down by my pedal drive. I need to put my pole in the water to get it down there so it doesn't snap. Ping, gone. I was like, you got to be kidding.
Kind of like a trolling motor on like a regular boat.
Yes, it's a propeller
Yeah.
down there. But they don't usually dive. Like they do come towards you, but it's my first time I've ever cut a line on my prop drive was a couple days ago. And it's happened to be on, it would have been a 5-pound bass. Easy. But so that was kind of a bummer. So lesson learned there. If they come close to me, I need to actually put my rod down in the water. And so if they do go under past it, it doesn't get caught up. But you know, it happens. So I mean, I've been kayak fishing for a long time, and it's the first time it happened, but definitely don't want it to happen again.
Yeah, that was just the one thing that I've always like wondered about kayak fishing. It's like how much on the hook sets, how much fish actually do pull you around, like what size of a fish does it need to be where it starts to kind of move you and, you know, kind of stuff like that.
Well, the beauty of a pedal drive, I got instant reverse. So the second I hook set a bass, I usually start backing up. And it also helps reduce the tension in my line. So if they do jump and throw slack, I'm constantly also backing up. So it's kind of a dual shock absorber such a way. Sure. But if you're in a paddle drive, I mean a paddle driven kayak, that's more difficult, a lot more difficult. So I tip my hat to a lot of the paddle kayakers out there because it's a little bit of wind and trying to position on those bass. That's tough stuff.
Tyler, real quick, I will say, Tyler with the $10 bomb. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. What is your favorite swim jig? Oh, that's a tough one. We were just talking about that Tuesday night. I would say now, probably one of my Do It ones is obviously I work with Do It. Good folks here in Iowa. So I can make my own, so I'm not as scared of losing them. But through the years, actually, is this? Oh no! I mean, I've used a ton of them. This is like the Strike King one. If you want a good light wire one, so if you're throwing like a medium power rod, because you can see I can take this hook and bend it. But if you've got a lighter rod, and this is actually a little bit big for this, if you've got a lighter rod, like a finesse swim jig like that is good. The all-terrain tackle Grassmaster jig, they've changed the head to it. I don't like it anymore. But the old ones, man, that was where I gained my confidence in a swim jig. That was a good one to look up if you can find some of the old ones. But I mean, otherwise, dirty jigs, there's a bunch of them out there. The thing I will say, I guess the biggest thing for me that determines a swim jig now is the size of the hook. So Tyler, if you're looking to get a swim jig, if you see anything that says California swim jig or hyper wire or ultra wire or gorilla wire, anything like that, you look at the hook and it will be super, super thick. And those are meant to be fished on braid in and around really thick grass like Okeechobee, you know, Delta, California type stuff. If you're like me here in the Midwest, I tend to go for a little bit less to like mid-range type of hook because I'm not around all that. But what do you guys got? What's your favorite swim and jigs?
Do you have one, Wendell?
You know what? Here's a crazy thing. On my channel, I teach always carrying an unconfidence lure with you. So I have 6 rods always on the back of my yak, and one of them is one that I just don't really have a great grasp on. And I've never fished jigs until this year. I just had a lot of luck on a lot of other things. I was like, you know what? I need to learn this because I know they pick up some donkeys, and so I want to dial this in. And so I really haven't been able to rotate through all the different styles and types of jigs. But I have a feeling this will soon be a confidence lure for me. So I don't have anything for you, to be completely honest with you. I'm just rotating through all the stuff I've received through Monster Bass on the years. And I just had a ton of jigs that I've never used. And so I'm slowly losing them over time.
Yeah. That's a great way to like try and just dip your toe in the water if you do get like a box or anything like that. That's always good. Sometimes the boxes can be pretty lame depending on who you go through, but that's a different story.
Even monster bass. I mean, I love monster bass, but yeah, some of the boxes are lame. And that's the thing with like boxes stuff is you can get lures in there. I shouldn't say the boxes are lame. You can get certain lures in them that can be lame, but you also get lures that you get to try that you've never seen. So that's why I always say, like, if you know what you like, a subscription box shouldn't be your deal. Like, I'm not going to try to, sell everybody on that. Like, it's not for everybody. If you like try new stuff or you're just getting into it, like Wendell said, or Wendell. Is it Wendell or Wendell? I don't know why you keep saying Wendell.
Ironically, that's my last name. My first name's Darren.
Oh,
but people call me, it's Wendell or Wendell. I kind of go by both. I really don't have any.
I like
strong
Wendell.
feelings for
Sounds
it.
fancier.
Yeah. I mean, I got those boxes 2 years ago. I still have stuff that's still in the plastic. I need to research and figure that out.
I actually just showed Debo the other day. It was a Z-Man's custom that I got from Mystery Tackle Box, probably.
Oh God, that thing is awesome.
10 years ago.
Oh wow!
I about choked you out and just took it.
Black and purple with the black blade to it.
Oh,
like totally custom. Just made it for the box. However they made and put them in boxes is however many they made total.
Oh wow!
It just looks beautiful, and I don't want to throw it because I'll lose it.
Yeah, limited edition there. Now you can't find them. They don't make them anymore.
No, they don't. Outside of the mystery tackle box that it was sent out in, they didn't make them for like regular sale.
Wow,
it was my understanding of it. Yeah,
and you won't throw it now.
No, it's still in the package. I haven't even opened up the package. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw this jackhammer instead, and if I lose that, no big deal. I can replace it. A swim jig for me is gonna be the Divine series, 6 cents. I've really started to like those at first. I didn't like them because the way the connection is. So once you thread your lure on, it's got a screw lock to it.
Yep, screw.
So you kind of have to like screw it on there and like flip the tail or the paddle tail or the whatever kind of trailer you're using. It's kind of wonky, I guess, to say it the best. Getting it like actually, with a trailer on there, but I love them. They swim well.
Good for skipping too.
They have a weed guard to them. Not all swim jigs have weed guards, which I found out at some point in time, but yeah.
Interesting.
Super nice hooks to them too. Overall.
So it wasn't if it didn't have a weed guard, I would say it was just a swim bait hook, not a swim jig.
Okay. I'd get on board with that.
View on that.
Yeah. But they have really good colors too. Anything in the bluegill colors always worked out amazing for me.
Bluegill.
And they have a ton of bluegill.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead, Dizzle.
No, I was just saying they have a ton of different variations of
They got boiled bluegill, baked bluegill, fried bluegill.
Candy, Cajun, regular.
Corey, it was only a mere year almost after he sent me a box. I got it unboxed. Corey, I love you, brother. One of my Iowa boys. I am so far behind on subscriber unboxings.
So you get people sending you baits all the time, right?
Not all the time, but pretty frequently. It's stopped now that I'm, I would say close to a year behind on unboxing them. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at in your background here.
No, this was a failed attempt at shooting a tackle storage video. I was telling these guys, I've been playing with different boxes because you'd think as long as I fished, I would be like super organized and have this all figured out. I don't. So I was like trying to figure out, okay, I got a shaky head box started. I got Ned rigs and wacky rigs. And it's like, I need to have them all in one place because actually that's going to be a perfect segue into the next one. Unless are you going to share something about a bait there? You got something in hand.
Oh no, I've just been playing with this the whole time. I don't know why. I was just like, if you see my table right here, I probably have 30 baits just laying out.
Your fidget toy.
Yeah, I guess my fidget spinner over here.
4-inch Rage Menace. Okay, so that brings up a perfect thing. Okay, so next question: boat bank or yak? Which one do you think has the best for lure management? Of course, it's going to be perception is reality, but I think this is where boat. Like when I get on Dad's boat, he's got like a huge, and he doesn't have a huge boat, but like, the huge like front things that you open. And he's got like crankbait box. He's got like worm bag box thing. He's got weights. He's got hooks, I think boat ultimately, and I mean, it's kind of cheating because you have so much room, but like that's the ultimate deal for like organization. I think that's why I struggle as a bank angler is one, I'm not sure what I'm going to take to this place because it's like, Wendell, what are your type of fisheries up there? What do you fish mostly?
Primarily lakes and ponds. I got a lot of great bass lakes up here, like really great bass lakes up here.
Cool.
But when
Has
it
water
comes,
been down or up there too?
it's up really. It hasn't really been down. It's up. I mean, it's kind of crazy. But tackle management. Here's what I love. And you are right. I went on this guy's boat and I opened those things up and I was like, what am I looking at? It was all the same
It
brand.
glows. All the light
It
comes out.
all printed out. He's like, oh, that's my tournament tungsten box. This is what you can pull your Texas rig, whatever from.
You can use this measly.
What am I looking at here? It was unbelievable. Here's what, and so obviously between bank and boat, you got like kayak, right? Just mid range, but you know, it's behind your back. It's kind of awkward to get to if you don't have a lot of great balance, right? If your equilibrium's off. And so I could put 5 or 6 tackle boxes back there. I have a backpack behind me for all my soft plastics. But what I really love is underneath the seat. And a lot of these kayaks, you can buy one of those like Craftsman's Versa stacks. Like you just get from not Walmart, like Home Depot's DeWalt, and you stick it right in your seat. So you pull this drawer out right between your legs. It has all your terminal tackle, and there's like 2 drawers you can pull out. And so I love that. And also what it forces me to do, instead of having everything on a boat, which is convenient, don't get me wrong. But when I moved to the kayak, I used to own a boat. But when I moved to the kayak, it really forced me to do a lot of pre-fishing strategies, right? I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm just going to go to a different lake today because I have everything available to me. So since I have limited space and I can't take everything, I have to do a pre-fishing strategy where I go do topographical maps, figure out what am I fishing, where am I going to be fishing, and to look at Google Maps to see where the lily pads and stuff are. And then I start picking and pulling off my pegboard and putting in my underseat storage. So it really forced me to be a more strategic angler because of my limited space. But that's what I love. That's what I liked about what it forced me to do as a kayak angler.
Here's an interesting one too. Dizzle, Dizzle's actually got an interesting so as I said, I kind of struggle from like I'll go in and out of like, oh, I'm going to take this, but like I've actually got 3 little tackle bags. That one little sling one that I got off Amazon, which is kind of my lightweight. I'm going to be walking around, like I walked around a pretty big, you could call it a small lake. It's probably
what, mile, 2 miles in circumference, maybe?
Yeah, 15 acres. I did a full lap around that before Dizzle even showed up, by the way. We're not going to talk about that. That'll be more for the video. He was,
look at the time.
Oh boy, he was right on time today.
Look at the time.
Anyway, I've got that one if I know I'm going to be walking a lot. If it's like piers or I shouldn't say piers.
Jetties.
Yeah, jetties and stuff. I'll take my big bag and just throw it down on the ground because I know I'm going to be fishing like around the jetty, so my bag's within sight. And then I've got kind of a middle one. So like I fumble around a lot with like what I'm taking, and then having the girls having to take them to school and pick them up and crap. It's kind of a shuffle. But Dizzle, he's kind of got it made. Dizzle, what's your truck set up for extra tackle, which I'm a huge believer in, not just having your backpack, but like carrying extra in the truck so you can go back and load, unload.
So the majority of places I would say that we fish around here, Debo, and I think you might agree, you just said 1,500 acres or whatever, and it didn't take you that long to walk around it. So the majority of places you go, it's not like you're going on a huge hike to get to the water. It's pretty easy to get back to your vehicle if you need to. So in the bed of my truck, I have like a 45 gallon tote that has like big wheels on the back. And inside it, basically, I have pretty much everything outside of what I have, in the garage, extra stuff in the, back seat of the truck, just different things like that. So I have, the money bags filled with different kind of plastics. Each one of those is labeled with a different types of fishing you do with it. So like paddle tails, swim jig trailers, things like that's one. Actual jig trailers, worms, all that stuff. It's all labeled. And then I have the flame bow, whatever they're called. They're like coffin boxes for the hard baits. So the hard baits stand vertical in them. And Debo was looking at it today, and they're actually really cool. Each individual thing comes out of the actual tackle box. So if you wanted, to grab one of them out of there, you could pull it out. And what you could easily fit, Debo, 2 or 3 like hard baits in each one of those different little slots.
Yeah, depending on what you're putting in there, like 1.5s, you could
size.
maybe fit 3, 2.5s, like 2. Yeah, but they're
Rattle
interesting.
traps you can do pretty well.
Yeah, because you can pull out each little like thing. So I think that's going to be a good solving. Dizzle was showing me those, and I'll get a bunch for like my extra cranks, just for storage here because I've got.
And it's a great way to store them too. It's not like you're in nothing against like the regular Plano boxes, but it seems like any single time that you go put some hard baits in there and you try to pull it out, if it's got a treble hook on it, it's taking every single bait with it out.
That's
the way
best
that these
way.
work. Yeah.
Because then you can see everything you've got. You just grab any one lure and lift it up, and you can see everything in the entire collection.
But when you do that, it's pretty much a requirement that you say to whoever's around you, I'm thinking about throwing this one.
I think I should throw this rig. And then somebody hopefully runs out of the bushes and chokes you out and then kicks you in the water.
But yeah, awesome. That's what I do. And it gives me the opportunity to, whatever samurai bag I have, it's like a full-size backpack. I can always just run back and change something out if it's not good on the whatever I have in there front.
Beep, 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 beep. I like it. Let's see. Ooh, Little Rich said big crash at Daytona. That's not good. I was just watching a thing the other night on Dale Earnhardt. I didn't realize how what's the word?
Influential?
No, not that. How good he was at it. Dominant. How dominant he was at.
He was aggressive.
Yeah, I was never into racing, but dirt track racing, fun. We have a bunch of dirt track racing around here in the Midwest, Iowa, but never a NASCAR racer watcher. Okay, now boxes suck. I use bags.
Yes, intimidating.
That's one thing I've gotten into, Daniel, as well, for carrying my extra stuff. Actually, I've got one here.
Yeah, I gotta see these.
So having like a few of these in my truck, I can just throw them in. And the only thing is like sometimes they're kind of a wonky fit, so you have to put stuff different ways. As you can see, this one is very well organized. I've made sure everything is in its exact spot, and it's only
Do you have any of those 6 Sense ones around?
I don't. Andy? Here's a question: does your tackle storage, or is your tackle storage and management a reflection of your life?
Ooh.
Because I feel like that's kind of my life right there. Shambles. Some days. I don't know if I'm coming or going.
I mean, all my tackles everywhere, so I'm all over the place.
Yep.
But Dizzle, you were
Nebraska.
You were showing us in the green room some from Harbor Freight. Now, I'm excited about that because I have just an amalgamation of random boxes in different sizes. And for me, if I want to get organized, like if I were doing what you were getting ready to do, Debo, and look behind you, like I want to organize all this, it all has to be like the same brand for me. I don't know. That's just where my mind goes. If I'm going to go all in, it all's got to be the same. I'm going to label everything. Yeah, I'm going all in, and like it's an investment of like I'm putting hundreds of dollars into tackle management. I haven't done it yet. It's all up on pegboards. I got crankbaits and lipless banks and A-rigs and everything just hanging from pegboards, just waiting for the day. Probably a winter project, right? To get that all organized, printed, and dialed in. But it's just so freaking expensive.
Yeah, you always got to look for those kind of really decent, cheap options. I know like my tungsten weights, my bullet weights, free rig weights, different things like that. I actually found at Walmart in the sewing section. It's like a small case, maybe.
What was Dizzle doing in the sewing section, we asked?
I just walked by and happened to see it. So it's basically this size, maybe a little bit bigger around, but on the inside it's got 10 compartments. It's a little bit bigger, a square, Debo. Sorry, not around.
No, that was a movie reference.
Anyway,
like 16
so it's got 10 different compartments, and then again, Debo, it's not as cool as your thermal printer, but thermal label.
That's a thermal labeler. I have a printer.
Yeah, it prints. Also,
Well, yours is that's a different thing. I
anyway,
tip my hat to
so
your labeler there, feller.
I put all my actual like tungsten weights and stuff like that, or a good amount of those, and I throw that in my bag and take those little Velcro strip things. Throw one of those around the outside just in case. It's not gonna pop open because it's got a little latch, but just to make sure that it doesn't.
Bait chunk, and we'll have to talk about that soon. We'll have a surprise for this one. But I fished for my Sea-Doo for 6 months.
Whoa.
Huh.
Dang.
All right.
That'd be fun. I've never drove a jet ski.
I got so many questions.
Yeah.
Never?
I don't even know. No, that's why I just said, I don't know if you heard me, but I said I've never drove a jet ski. As in never.
Have you been on one?
Never.
You've ridden on the back probably before, right?
Never. You are the one that always rides on back. This is like, oh, I'll ride on back. He always, when we used to go 4-wheeler riding, he'd always be like, oh, my 4-wheeler's not working today. And he'd sit on back and be like, I'm just going to sit here with you, Debo. And then I'd be driving down the dirt roads and I feel like nibbling on my ear.
10,000%. 10,000% fake news right there. Never been 4-wheeler riding with Debo, ever.
Oh, Dizzle. Tackle junkie in the house. What's up, Jim? You handsome SOB. Golden bronze beauty you are.
Well, really quick, you talking about the jet ski. I think I was watching Christine Fisher, and she was doing a jet ski tournament that you're just fishing from jet skis. I was like, now that
I didn't know there was a thing.
Kind of amazing. So basically, you park it, and you just kind of like turn around, and then I don't know. Do you have like rod holders? You got like 3 or 4 rods. Like, where do you? I got so many questions, but I was like, I could do that. That sounds like a ton of fun.
You coast in, and
I have no clue. It sounds amazing. All I saw was a video of her casting from a jet ski, and it said she was part of a tournament. I'm like, that's the kind of tournament I need to be a part of.
The main thing I know about jet skis is they are very easy to get overconfident on. and then they're very good at teaching you a lesson and not being overconfident.
Okay, Wendell, I'm gonna hand the reins to you. You've had a minute to think on it. Do you have a yak boat bank question or proposal? I don't even know if this is turned into like questions, but proposals, I guess maybe.
I have one. This is interesting to me. It seems like, and I could be way off, just might be by perception. What is the perception of a bank angler, of a kayak angler, right? Because I know this morning I rolled up on a guy, I didn't even see him like until I was like 10 feet off. I was like, oh, bro, you got lines out? He's like, oh, yeah. I was like, where? He's like, the bobber's right in front of your kayak. I was like, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't even paying attention to you. I went out around him. Hey, no problem. He reeled in. I was like, oh, by the way, it's 14.5 feet out here, and I'm marking fish at 5 feet. He's like, oh, thanks a lot. So I didn't see him. My bad. I always try to do wide berths. So what is the perception from bank angler to kayak angler? Maybe some of the stupid crap we do that bothers it. And then what is the perception from boat angler to kayak angler? Because I've seen plenty of videos and been on the receiving end of just like unwarranted whatever, right? It's like, oh,
it goes, dude.
Real fast, Debo, you have another donation as well. Sorry.
Okay, I will get to. I did see it pop up. Thank you for reminding me. Actually, I'm to it right now. Let's grab it because it's like just way down. Wendell, how do you do? Oh, dude, and talk about tying this segue into tying it in. Tyler, thank you, brother. $5 bomb. I appreciate you. Did Tyler drop the $10 bomb too? Was that? Hold on here.
Was it a different Tyler? It was a
Tyler Thompson. Tyler, shoot me an email, DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com.
He'll send you a zillion. Congratulations.
Not a zillion, Randall. Shut your mouth. But I don't think I've had donations. Yeah, for a minute. So, and I don't ever ask for them. You guys and gals are not required to do it. Please don't think like, oh, please donate. No. But Tyler, for dropping 2 tonight, I'm going to put you on the board. So send me an email, DEBO'SFishing@gmail.com. I appreciate you, my guy.
What's this board? And by the way, you're right. I come on. I was like, whoa, there's donations here and members over here. Like, what are you doing? I got my own show. I'm like, it's lighting up. It's lighting up over here in the comment section. I love it. What's the board?
Well, first of all, I bought it for him just because he didn't have any way to track anything at all, and just talked about how bad he needed to get one and this and that. So after live after live after live of him crying about not having anything, I just went to the damn store and bought him one. Took me 5 minutes. No big deal. I got him an
Why do
extra
you have-
pack of markers too.
Why do you have to downplay it? Like it was such a thing that I could have done and didn't. My life's a mess sometimes, Dizzle. What can I say? Okay, so my hot
Back
take on
winners
this.
and for his daughters to draw on.
Yes, she
occasionally.
does on the regular too.
And I want to answer that question too. So later though,
Go
just
for,
to
no,
come
go
back-
for it right now.
No, I mean, how do I deal with pleasure boaters? I don't think of it that way. Let's put it that way. So I believe, a lot of people are like, oh, no one owns the lake. No one's owns the lake. I believe everyone owns the lake. And because of that, I want to be courteous to the other co-owners of the lake. So you have just as much right to be out there than I do. And so I always just try to show as much respect that I would want to receive and I'm pretty defensive anyways, like kayaker. So I try to give you extra room if I can. I try to communicate like, hey, which side are you fishing? If they're another angler out in the water, or I simply just don't. If there's a lot of pleasure boaters pulling jet skis and tubes around, I'm typically not fishing those bodies of water just because I don't find it enjoyable.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of other options for me where I live that I don't have to get on those particular lakes to fish. So that's kind of how I look at it. So
I agree, and that's always the toss up. Like that's a really good way to put it because I've talked about that before. Of like, okay, so I'll go into mine. So either from bank, or from John Boat, doesn't matter. I've had kayakers, non-fishing kayakers, who you can tell are just
those people are the worst.
Yeah.
Well, you can tell that they're just oblivious to fishing and like a lot of the other boat stuff. They might have got their yak in the last year or so. They just don't really know they've never been on the water and will literally go right in front of you as you're fishing. Those people, I'm just like, I'll shake my head like, you should know. Like I always say, ignorance isn't an excuse. But they don't know, until somebody's told them. So sometimes, it depends. I might say, could you go around me? Or sometimes I don't say anything, just turn around and make a different cast. But those people, it's not as bad. But it's like the old boys, Dizzle and I were out on a place fishing one time. And it's like they were like trying to get ahead of us the whole time as like we were walking down the bank. But like in doing so, they were just like right exactly where we were fishing, like, and just kept going up.
Kayak anglers?
No. A couple old boys in a boat, like probably like 75. One dude was, I don't know, probably 80. You can tell they were
old timers.
Old timers that just either didn't care anymore, or it's like, they figured they were out of the way, and it's like kind of the same for them. But then you get the people that are complete a-holes. Dizzle and I were fishing, who they were watching us fishing from a place, and they literally just pulled right up in front of us with their backs to us and started fishing within like 3/4 of a cast length to where we were fishing. Gosh. Just pricks, man. So it's like
I know who that dude was from like. So around my area, they have a Tuesday night bass tournament during the summer where it's just biggest fish, couple hours on a Tuesday night. And I know that dude from those Tuesday night tournaments, and he's just a dick. I don't like him at all.
See, that's why he was there that time you caught the big bass and
beat everyone.
Now he's getting back at you.
I've done that. That's real. Guy. I've done that before.
Yeah, he did. No big deal. He'll let you know about it. How about you, Dizzle? What's your hot take? My thing is, like, I feel like bank anglers get looked at as like lowly. Like if you're bank fishing, you're poor. You can't afford.
No need for them. They're fine. Just fish over them. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll just fish wherever. I think
it's actually the hardest for you, right? You have limited space to fish.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Boaters and kayakers have literally the lake as their oyster.
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys have the entire lake to fish. Why are you doing it in front of me?
Right.
Kidding. Sorry.
I could see that. Respect.
My whole take is, like you were saying, like if you accidentally roll up on somebody, I'm sorry, totally my bad. I wasn't trying to horn swallow your
my thing is communicate, because you can become friends with people like that. There was a couple guys that were getting a little edgy on me, like kind of encroaching on me. And I ended up saying something like, "Oh, sorry, man, I'm casting." They're like, "Oh, crap, dude, I didn't even notice it." And literally, like within the next month and a half, I ran into these guys. I've been bank fishing. This is a couple years ago. I ran into them.
Was that the same boat, guys, where we were?
Yes, we're fishing the frogs. Yes,
That's
it's like a dude and his dad, And then like we just kind of chuckle because we kept running into each other on the local lakes. So it's like you never know who you're gonna run into. You can be a total ass to somebody, and it's like, who knows if you're gonna see in the next 3 outings, like
Right.
it's not worth it. Like Wendell said, the lake is for everybody, so sorry,
Yeah,
I
I
jumped
mean,
in there. I don't know what I got on.
as long as that, I mean, everybody's had a bad experience, and it seems like regardless of the good experiences, the bad ones always weigh on you. There's one of DEBO'S videos from back in the day. I don't even know, 4 or 5 years ago, where I'm throwing this jig off the end of this jetty. I can see a bass. It's deep enough where I can see it. It's coming out. It's decent size, especially for the Iowa area, and it's unfortunately directly next to the boat launch. But in order for you to back up in your boat and then go out to the main lake, you would go out of your way to drive directly in front of the jetty I was fishing off of. And so I'm fishing this, and this guy and his wife in this electric only lake with their giant, I don't know, it was a very large boat for an electric only lake, but you can put whatever you want to. Anyway, they like basically cut directly in front of me, and I watch this fish. As soon as they get close, the fish is like just gone. And I reel out my rod, and the guy's, what are you trying to catch with that big lure? A freaking whale? And I was like, no, it was the fish down there, but it got scared away by something. I don't know, a boat driving over the top of it.
No, he said he said what are
something.
you're not gonna he said you're not gonna catch anything with that big
Oh,
old
yeah.
lure. And Dizzle said, well, I was trying to. He said there was a fish right here, but something scared it. And the guy goes, probably that big old lure.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the damn lure guy.
Didn't pick up on it. Not at
Yeah,
all.
and
No,
Dizzle goes,
no,
no,
oblivious.
I don't think that was it. And the wife's in back just like,
I think I watched that video. Is that
Yeah.
a video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
I watched
completely
that video.
oblivious, So
I
it's
can
people like
be
that
kind
that
of
make me
sarcastic
chuckle.
and a jerk sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, sometimes?
Sometimes. Occasionally. You got another donation.
Yeah. You're on fire. That's
Oh, I
awesome.
was
Debo,
pretending I
you
froze.
didn't. I thought you froze.
Yeah,
Damn.
because that would be ironic that you are sometimes whatever you just said. Yeah, but you're that all the time.
Sarcastic.
Yeah,
Eric.
sarcastic all the time.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes, every once in a while. But yeah,
Let's
long
see.
story short, communication, like Debo said. Nobody owns it. Everybody owns it. I agree with that. It's everybody's water to fish. I talked about this at lengths before. Pick up
Shan
stuff.
in the house.
Doesn't matter.
My God,
What?
we need to
I got-
get Shan on another live soon. I've been shot at 3 times while
Jesus.
conducting electrofishing surveys.
Shoot back, Shan.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, I didn't-
look
I
at
didn't-
Han. Han shot first. Be the guy to shoot first, Shan. Get out of there alive.
Oh, I got a question for you, both of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I noticed a comment over here basically said someone's like blah 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 if they get too close. And so the problem with too close, it's subjective, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
So what is too close? Now there's a lot of variables, right? If it's a tight lake, highly pressured, a lot of boats. Let's create some parameters. Let's say it's the type of lake you guys typically fish. Let's say you're in a boat and 1,500 acres, right? And there's
More of a
15 boats.
bowl or like a long skinny lake?
More of a bowl. Like you can
Okay.
you can wide berth people anytime you
Oh,
want.
sure.
So
Okay.
it's not like your channel and you have to get close to people. You can
Yeah.
be far away. So you have a lot of variance there. How close is too close?
Depending on conditions, time of year, whatever you happen to be throwing, I would say with your regular, I don't know, half-ounce lure.
I
what
love how
a
Dizzle's
mediocre cast
answers
is.
are never straightforward. He says depending
if
on
I'm-
the time of year and what
If I'm
you're
jig
throwing.
fishing,
Okay.
if I'm jig fishing off of a jetty, I don't need
Oh.
40 feet around.
Who the
me.
hell is going to
I
know what
don't-
kind of fishing you're doing if they drive out by you? Oh,
Well,
hey,
I would-
hold
I
on.
would
Is
just-
that Dizzle?
okay.
Well,
So I
he
would say
probably
in
jig
general, what's an average cast?
fishing. For me,
I
or
mean,
for
whatever
you?
your average cast is, I would say should be the berth that you should give the next person. So I don't know, maybe what's a decent cast? 40, 50 yards? Is that
For me
too
or
that's
for
too
you?
long? 30, 40 yards?
Me, I'm probably
Somebody
getting
just
out to
said?
like 70 yards. You're probably at like 15 yards. The way
Yeah,
I've watched
probably.
you cast.
30, 40 yards. I would say
40, 50 yards, I'd say, is a good long cast.
Okay.
40 yards is a
Decent
good
cast.
give your wide berth of 40 yards. Just because you don't know, because by the time, if you're not at least 40 yards from the person, if they're casting towards you and you're casting towards them, you're easily getting tangled up and snagged up with them. 100%.
This is fascinating if you guys are reading the comments, because you got everywhere from 30 to 40, you got 100,
100.
and you got 30 to 50, and then you got 2 cast lengths. And so this is usually the issue, right? What my boundary is half of yours, and
That's
now
why the
we're in
biggest
argument
key is
on the water.
communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate.
That's true.
My thing is, like, if I see somebody casting, I'm just going to stay outside of them and not cast in the zone that they're casting until I get past them and fish what they're fishing. Because if you're bank fishing, nobody can be mad if they're just outside my casting length. I guess, in my opinion, like, I can't reach it anyway, so what the hell does that matter? Like, even if they're kind of close to it, But like, if they're coming into where I'm fishing and outside of my casting, then casting toward me, like 2 feet in front of me, you're a prick. So just
as
take
long as
wide.
they don't have stupid little kids with them hucking rocks in the damn water also.
This is why Dizzle has kids, loves kids. Yeah.
I don't have any kids. Funny enough, where that guy drove right in front of the jetty, different outing there with me and Debo, I yelled at some children. And they ran away.
Yeah, they sure did.
They were at the end of the jetty where me and Debo were fishing. They walked
Uncle
up
Dizzle
and throwing some giant, I don't know, saltwater lure that weighed 17 ounces, and then just started hucking water or rocks into the water. And I was like, knock it off. I don't care. Stop it. You're being jackasses. Throw you in.
Dizzle. I think we hit a nerve here with old Dizzle. Oh my gosh, we got a couple more donations. Holy smokes. We might have to, one of which I know, and hopefully we can get him on here soon. Let's see. Gosh, we got all kinds of good stuff in here. Dizzle, you're next up on the docket. Bank boat or yak? What's going to be your question here? 250 people watching. We're going to have a giveaway going here in just a little bit. I'll get that started up. Get to these.
So, okay, I actually do have one whenever you're Are you ready?
Hold on. Dersh, real quick, I want to say Dersh has not been in for a minute. I don't have a question. Just want to support y'all. Dersh, love you, brother. It's been a minute. Dersh, congrats on your local win. Well, I guess not local to me, but up in your area. We need to get you on a live, dude. I know it didn't work out because you used to work the night shift, but if that's changed, hit me up. We'll get you on. And Dersh, I think I owe you a custom lure anyway. So, Mr. Dersh, send me an email to debosfishing@gmail.com. Let me know if you'd like to be a guest. And send me your info anyway, because I owe you a custom from days past. So always appreciate you, my man. Dersh is a longtime sub and used to pop in when he was working the night shift and throw a donation and say, hey, just want to support you. So Dersh, thank you, my man. Okay, Dizzle, what's yours? Actually, hold on.
You have 2 of them.
Jared. Holy crap. Jared with a $20 bomb as well. I'm out of my drink, but thank you, Jared. Jared, are you looks like a yak guy? Are you there with Dersh or just there with Dersh saying thanks for the support? Or are you actually physically there with Dersh hanging out? This I need to know.
Or he doesn't have a question. He's like, I'm there with Dersh. I just want to
That's what I meant. Yeah. Are you just there with Dersh?
That's the way I took it.
All right.
Okay. Well, listen, Jared, send me an email to debosfishing@gmail.com. I'll get you hooked up with something.
Paul Brown makes a great point. Paul Brown says 250 people in here, 140 likes. Like button's easy to push, guys.
I gotta go do that. I'm gonna do it right now.
It's fun. Kind of tickles every once in a while, just saying. Give it a shot. Yeah. Jared said, not actually with Dersh. That's funny. Okay, so my boat, kayak, bank fishing. So I see it, and as I stated, like at the beginning when we first started, my mantra or my thing is it's hour to fish, get out and fish, go fish. Doesn't matter if you got an hour all day long, 30 minutes is kind of pushing it, but still, if you got time, go out and do it. I know with bank fishing, that's simple to do. I can do that. I can just, have a combo in my truck. It doesn't matter. And I can go out and just fish. I know boats are pretty easy to toss in, assuming that you have it hooked up or it doesn't take you forever to hook it up. You go dump it in. You can be out on the water pretty darn quick. I don't know for kayaks, so that isn't really necessarily a question. But I think my opinion is obviously bank fishing's the quickest, the easiest. You don't have another thing that you have to do before you can actually get in and fish. What's your kayak experience with like launching, I guess?
Yeah. And it really depends on, I mean, some of these kayaks are 250 pounds loaded. Like you have to wet launch them. They're so big.
Okay.
Mine's like a mid-range. So I pull mine. I made a double-decker trailer out of a utility trailer that tilts back. I pull it back. By the time I park and the time I'm in the water, and I have 6 rods, I put both my cameras up. I got my Garmin Echo map. I got to set all this stuff. Batteries connected. I can be in the water in like 7 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's not bad actually.
It's not bad. I mean, faster than a boat.
Do you have part of it like already loaded? Like
no,
is it
all of
you
my
have to take
net,
everything out.
my batteries, all my rods are all in my truck bed. But it happens so quick now because it's a system.
Uh-huh.
And so I'm out of my truck and in the water.
You ever used one of those little like I don't know, 2-wheel cart type of looking things where you hook one end up to it's like a dog that can't use its back legs. You know what I mean? Where it's got wheels in the back and they have to run on their front legs. Are those easy or are those kind of a pain or?
No, I actually recommend the native sidekicks. So for those who mostly bank fish, these are permanently attached to the back of your kayak right behind your seat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're attached to the track mounts that run behind your seat. And then what happens, those pull out and you can put them down and push them back in. And then boom, you can pull your yak down the boat ramp and in. And then when you're in the water, you pull them out and you flip them up and click them back in. You're golden. Why I love these over like all the kayak carts, you have like the double rail carts, the cradle carts, the scupper hole carts, because those things are a pain in the butt to kind of get up on it. You got to strap them around. A lot of time once you get to the water, they're so big, you have to run them back to your truck or you got to take them apart and put them in the bow. All that is.
Isn't there one that like stays connected and you can like kick it up or something?
That's it. That's the native sidekicks.
Oh,
yeah. Were you paying attention, Debo?
No, I'm sorry. I'm trying to go through chat. I'm half listening, kind of like when I fish with you. So I only heard part of it.
They're freaking expensive though. Like that system, like the pneumatic wheels. Guess how much that particular like upgrade would cost you?
I have no grasp on
$280.
I mean, I could see it if it's a good system. Sure. I mean, that could seem right. I just don't have any grasp on how that stuff works. I know.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. Yeah. But I mean, if it works, it works. And Debo and I were talking earlier. It's like, I didn't actually know that they had the ones that fold up like that because I was like, okay, you know, with a kayak, if you have one of those things, not only are you still dealing with at least part of the weight because you have to deal with some of the weight of dragging the kayak still right down to the water, even with those things or no?
You do. That's why I try to get them the closest to the center of the boat as possible. Yeah, sure. But it's heavy. I've seen a guy, one of my buddies, he was pulling his out of the water and he has a heavy yak. It was so heavy, and he hooked his back tires on like a janky boat ramp, and he kind of pulled up on it, and it ripped out of the gear tracks. It was so heavy, and so he had to get new gear tracks, which was nice. Yeah, it was that much weight, and so you got to be careful not to load your kayak down and put those in there. Because that happens more often than you think.
Yeah,
so
that's
one other. Go ahead.
No, I was just that's honestly one of the things for me, kind of like Dizzle was talking about hour to fish. Sometimes for me, it's a couple hours after work while like, you know, the girls are at their stuff and like I'm waiting for my wife to get home or she's got them, I'm waiting for them to get home, whatever, so we can eat and stuff. So it might be a couple hours. So for me, like bank fishing, it's just kind of a necessity. Like I get 2 hours, you know, by the time I launched my John boat and got everything ready and situated, like that's probably a good hour out of all that, to be honest, like loading, unloading, moving, parking, like all that crap. Bank fishing, I can get there, grab rod, fish, do whatever. I can come home back, I can leave my stuff in the truck and go, you know, in right away. So it's a, you know, kind of a time saver, but it's hard to deny the accessibility with a boat or a yak, the places that you just can't get to, because depending on the place, you might have 2 or 3 spots that you can get to from the bank. You know, if you're lucky, some of the places you can walk all the way around. But
yeah, when I travel for, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No,
I'm gonna pee and grab a drink. You guys take your questions.
No, you're good.
Pee.
When I travel for work,
not literally, figuratively. Luckily, I'm not holding it.
Oh Jesus!
Know what I mean?
This guy.
I got a mental
Did you take his
picture now.
headphones out?
Can't,
Good.
can't get her. Look at him go.
Took off
I'm
running.
I'm a major gift officer for a nonprofit, so I have a lot of states under my care, and so I'll either bank fish, or what I've been doing recently is, because I rent a car and I can't take my trailer with me, is
Mhm.
I bring my float tube, my Fish Cat 4 or Fish Cat 3, I forget what
Okay.
it is, and so that's really
Is that the
easy.
one that has like the chest waders that you get into and then blow up the tube, or it's just
No, you have this pump, you blow up, it's like 40 pumps both sides, and you blow up the seat, and then you put fins on.
oh, you sit on top of it?
Yeah, you kinda sit in it, and you're like
Okay.
your legs are in the water, and it has patches next to you, and then you put flippers on, and then you kinda just push yourself backwards around that lake, and so it's kinda the best of
Is it?
both worlds. It doesn't take that
That,
long to pump it up.
it's pretty fun, huh?
It is,
Fishing
it's
like
really
that.
neat. I
Yeah.
I do, because it's even slower. So I went from the boat fishing, right, where I just
Yeah.
turn on the engine, rip from spot to spot.
Yeah. You run and gun. You're
I'm
go go
running
go.
over fish left and
Yeah.
right, and I didn't realize it till I got my kayak,
Yeah.
because instead of me wasting all this time just pulling up all my gear and paddling for 15 minutes and fishing that spot, you fish along the way, you're like, "Holy crap, there are a ton
Yeah.
of fish along the way that I would have never dialed in that particular type of fishing, because I usually just ripped
Mhm.
over them." Float tubing is even slower, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you can barely you're not moving very fast when you're flipping your
I would.
fins back and
Yeah.
forth. So you're picking everything apart, and you leave like no chance of missing at least putting that lure in front of that bass's face. And
I think that
so
would be super fun. It
it's
probably
really
is a
interesting.
little bit of a learning curve, huh? To kind of get used to the casting again, the casting, the hook sets, the whole nine of fishing like that. But yeah, that'd be
The
super
hook set's the
fun.
most interesting from a float tube, because
You
you get the
should only
bump.
flip over backwards.
Well, you almost got to like flip your fins at the same time as you're pulling to
Okay.
get the full hook set, and you get used to, like, you can flip your boat really fast, like left and right, by using your fins. So if you feel the bait,
Yeah.
you flip your fins, and so your whole body and the tube goes to the right. It's really interesting. You dial it in after being out one time,
Yeah,
but
I was just gonna say I'm like trying to process that in my head because it's kind of like the way that my brain works is like, and I'm thinking, man, I would screw that up so many times, and I would kick my feet one way and try to hook set the other way and end up tossing myself out of that thing so often. But yeah,
yeah,
I think
it's
that'd be super fun.
one with the water, like silent, and I mean, for
Hmm.
$250, you can have access to the entire pond. I mean, you're not gonna be
As,
kicking around a
as long
lake,
as you're
but
brave enough.
right? Yeah, and if you don't mind, you're kicking sometimes, you hit underwater timber, or you get
Oh
into some
yeah.
weeds. If you're, like, freaked out about that stuff, this is not gonna be your type of fishing.
Or
I
did you hear about that guy that got attacked by a 48-inch muskie, got
What the
pulled
what?
under?
What?
pulled under.
No,
Doing
I'm
what?
just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's stories
I'm
of
just trying
like
to give
people
people
sitting on docks, like
give people
sitting on
new
docks, dangling their toesies in the water and
ooh,
getting bit by fish.
he's like, you got
Who's
a
that?
tasty looking toe.
Who's
I
that river
would
monster guy? He talked about that a couple of different
Oh,
times.
Jeremy Wade.
Yeah.
Tyler, okay, so we're gonna answer this one as I'm getting this one going. We're gonna get the first giveaway going here. Depending on how many people, if we crash 300, we're at 252. We might
That
do
actually,
another
God,
dang.
you really need to rename this live Segway
Segway.
because it's actually segued
Dizzle,
into one
remember
of my
that time we
questions too.
went? Dizzle and I went to visit. Or was it that Chicago we took that trip to? We were going around on segways, and Dizzle and I were on segways, and I ran him over,
No,
knocked him off. Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
no, that's not real.
Anyway, let's see. So this was going to be my question. Worst thing about your platform: boat, bank, or yak? So as the sit-in boat expert here will say, that was for sure going to be my boat thing. There's just so many. Owning a boat, awesome, man. You can get places faster. It's awesome, good to platform to fish from. But there's so many things that can go wrong with a boat.
Expensive.
Electrical, yeah, trolling motor, your actual motor, dude. Actual motors like gas motors, holy piss, those are expensive. Like if you're just going to
There's
buy
that
one,
one. What is it?
Silly.
The Mercury 350, or maybe it's even bigger than that. They're like $80,000 a piece.
stupid. Yeah, that's where most of the money
Jeez.
is. But yeah, so you know what they say, boat is an acronym for bust out another thousand, right? So
Mhm.
from the boat, that's the one big downfall is, man, you're gonna be upkeeping, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff to go wrong with it. Yak, I don't see that as much. I mean, Paul just shared, his picture where some stuff broke. Who was it? Who I was listening to?
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, Bobby, the Jigs and Bigs podcast. He was talking about his tourney. I don't know what the hell you guys call it, but the tourney thing for the rudder, his broke. So then he was SOL out on the water and didn't have a paddle.
Cable broke. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
cable.
you always got to carry a backup paddle. So
yeah, well,
I mean, you can't rely
bad on him.
Yeah, right.
He was saying about,
but yeah, he was talking about that
body
thing.
water without a pedal.
Yeah.
So for the yak, the worst thing, easy. Number 1, WIND.
Ooh.
Sucks, especially if you're a paddle yacker. I mean, you could hate if you go out, if your first time out is on a windy day. When I say windy day for a paddle kayaker, you're like 7 mile per hour plus. Like that will.
So not really that windy at all, huh?
Not that windy at all. But man, especially if that wind catches you broadside, you cannot position. You'll get one cast off, and then you spend the next 30 seconds trying to reposition for the second cast. Well, Debo, you're out in a fishing kayak recently. Was that a paddle yak?
That was a paddle. Yeah.
Was it windy?
Not too bad, but I could certainly see. Yeah, it would be. So Steven, I haven't seen him in here, but he has like a makeshift anchor that he uses a trailer hitch, like a hitch that you would put into your truck. He's like, it's cheap and it works. I'm like, I'm not mad at that, dude. But he's like, yeah, he's got like one of the rolly things for like when you drop it, you can like
the anchor wizard. Yeah.
Rolly it up. So I could definitely see how, because it's honestly the same thing in my, actually, let me put this up here. I was also going to say, wait a minute, Wendell is talking about wind. Like, is that ironic, or is that just a perfect segue into my giveaway here? Oh, hashtag wind.
Look at that.
Dizzle, you proud of me, buddy?
Good job, buddy.
Another segue.
So don't they have like power pole systems for yaks, don't they?
Yeah, power pole systems, they do. And you have some kayaks that have double power poles, right? Because if you get one power pole, the wind can still.
You would need like a front and a back.
Well, you need 2 on the back going down like talons.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The problem is when you start doing that, your kayak is really heavy, 1, because those are heavy and you can run batteries. And 2, those things like $500,000 each.
Oh, wow.
For power poles. And then you got to run electric to you hit the button and it goes down. And so I don't know, for boats, and I mean, for like lake fishing and pond fishing, just get a pedal power kayak. I manage in 15 mile per hour winds. I don't carry an anchor. And so as long as you have a pedal power kayak, you're good. Or like a spot lock for your electric trolling motor. I know some guys that'll run one power pole on like creek and river fishing. And so they were like, I want to stop right here and, fish that juicy pocket over here. And versus just getting one cast in and letting it roll you down the river, that'll stop and they'll pop, 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 and then they'll keep going. So it's interesting application. I could see that as long as you're not too tight to trees, that thing sticks up like 8 feet in the air.
So the other question that I kind of had related to that, and Debo brought up the expensiveness of, an actual boat itself. With a kayak, are you pretty much, I know they're super tough roto molding, whatever they call it. Like if you crack that or you break it or something like that happens, is the kayak just pretty much done? It's over. You just get a new one, or you can fix them pretty easily.
Yeah, it depends on if you buy it from a reputable brand, right? If you get an Alibaba kayak and your customer service is blow, and let's say there is a warranty claim. I was just talking with Chad Hoover about this on a recent show. And if you get an Alibaba kayak and you get a warranty claim, he's like, I've heard of people waiting like a year and a half to get their hull because they're shoving it into a crate. It's coming over from who knows where. And you're not getting the next crate that comes in. You're getting the third crate that comes in. Versus
all the others are already spoken for.
Right, because they're already spoken for all the other warranty claims and all the other POs have been put in. And then you have, people don't think about this when they get into their kayaks. So they try to go cheap and they get one of those because that's in their price point. They want a pedal kayak. They don't want to spend the $2,200. They want to spend the $1,500, and they end up getting themselves in trouble because they don't last you a couple seasons until it doesn't. And a lot of times you'll have those issues. So if you get a crack, they do welds on them. I've done welds on mine before, not on the hull on the underside, but sometimes it's roto-molded, right? Sometimes it's going to be thinner, and not all of them are the same. So it's kind of interesting in that way. And some companies, you buy their kayak like Hobie, and you buy it because they have like sick warranties. Like
That's something people don't talk about enough, is like, what happens if something goes wrong with this? Like, how easy and how how can I get this crap taken care of? Yeah.
Didn't Gramps tell a story of, did he flip his or like rolled it and lost everything? Or is that Gramps or is that somebody else?
That happens all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that.
I thought it was Gramps. Maybe not. But yeah, that's the one thing I've always, kind of thought about is like how, and I mean, I'm sure you probably got to freaking ram into something pretty good to like poke a hole or crack it or something along those lines, or something along.
Do it underwater. Yeah,
dude, so that's a, oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna segue us into a couple questions here for Yaks. Wendell, I don't know if you've owned a ton of them, but do you have a good? I mean, with you being a guy in the yak community, I don't keep up with any of that stuff. I don't know anything about them. A couple of people ago asked what would be a good. Let's see. We got to get over 150. We got 250 people in here. I'm not doing the giveaway till we get to 150 people entered. So,
P.S. Yeah, everyone in the chat is saying Gramps had an issue. This was a while back, I think, though.
Yeah.
The big kayak, and that's going to be kind of my second question too. If he's saying the one where it wasn't rated for his like weight and all that stuff, where they essentially lied. Yeah. That's a bunch of crap, which good for him. For hopefully they fix it. But anyway, okay. So number of people asked here. We'll see if we get to 150. Hashtag wind. I'm going to bring this back up, but I want to see faces here better because this is better talking. What would you recommend for a good beginner fishing kayak?
Oh my gosh,
in your opinion,
this is so tough.
It doesn't have to be perfect. I know it depends on what's your budget. What's your like? Are there kind of a couple that float around the yak talk of like? Pretty good one.
And let me add to DEBO'S question real fast. Say your budget's $1,000.
Yeah.
Are you waiting longer to save up a little bit more money, or have you experienced that much? Sorry, DEBO, I didn't mean to jump in.
No, that's a great, maybe I'll even expand on Dizzle's question and segue into this of what would you say like a good price for a beginner yak is?
Yeah. So
what are you looking at?
One, I've never bought a fishing kayak MSRP. I've always got them on Facebook Marketplace during the winter.
I would say that would be the deal. Yeah. Because some of them, I'm sure people have used them like twice, and they're like, "This isn't for me." And
that was my experience. I literally drove 2 hours to Dayton, Ohio, pulled into this guy's barn, and I looked in it. It's like, this looks like it came off the showroom floor. How many times have you been in this? He's like, once. I got in it, didn't like it. And what is usually a $3,200 kayak, he's like, I'll give you $2,100. And I was like, shake my hand, my friend. So I mean, it was, I could have turned around and sold it, made $500,000 on it. But I don't necessarily recommend kayaks. If someone asked me that question, what I would do is recommend, here's the companies I recommend. So,
okay.
Because a lot of these kayak companies, if you have $1,200 or $1,500, you can get yourself into a pretty nice paddle kayak. If you're looking for a pedal drive kayak, you could probably get yourself into a nice one or used one for $2,200, new one for $25, $27.
And is it worth the up? Because who was it? God, now I feel like an idiot. I was literally just talking to somebody about this, where they said if you're serious into kayak fishing, save the extra money and go from paddle to pedal.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. That'd be the recommendation. That'd be the recommendation I would give as well. Here's the companies I like. It's just personal preference. Bonafide makes a solid kayak. I own one of those. Which the parent company is Big Adventures. They also own Native, and I've owned a Native Slayer Propel 10.
Wait, who owns Native?
Big Adventures.
But what was the other one they own? Sorry.
Bonafide, Liquid Logic, Native.
Oh.
It's kind of they've merged in the past years.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So solid kayaks there. I mean, if you get a Hobie, you're not going to find them at that price point unless you find them used. Some of the maybe some of the lower end ones, but they're some of the most expensive kayaks out there. Old Town, fantastic kayaks. I mean, Fishing with Gramps has an Old Town. Their autopilot is freaking sweet. Their PDLs are really nice as
What
well.
are you looking at for a price on that? So like, I don't know how much trolling motors, because like I kind of got lucky with, my John boat. I could get like a 45-pound thrust for, I got on like a Bass Pro sale for, I want to say like $180, under
Yeah.
$200 for sure. Like, what are you looking at for like a good, like I'm 6'1", 230, and I'm not fleet of foot, so I'm scared of falling out. So I want something really stable with a trolling motor thing on it.
Yeah.
What would that cost?
I believe they're called Old Town autopilots. Gramps has one of these, and I've never met someone who has bought one and not absolutely loved it. Right?
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. And so I think those run. I could be wrong. The first number comes to mind. I think they're around 3,600.
Okay, that's not bad. I was going to guess 5,000 for something like that. And
Um,
that's with the trolling motor thing, right?
yeah, I think it comes with that spot lock trolling motor. Now they just came out with, check this out, an ePDL. They just launched this at ICAST just like a month ago. Did you see that?
Yeah, Burley was showing that off. Yeah, that's the thing I was talking about to you today, Dizzle, where it's like you can go 1 through 5 and it's like assist pedaling, that one.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
it's essentially like an e-bike put into a kayak motor, which is really nice. You can go full motor, you can go straight, which I personally like, because once you get to your spot, I don't want to be powered around. That's where my stealth comes in. That's part of the kayak angler advantage. So
sure.
you want to slowly move into those spots, especially a lot of those times they're shallow. So, ooh, here we go.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'm going to run it while we're talking.
No, I don't. I got distracted, but yeah, the EPDLs, but the EPDLs. The wet dog smell.
The wet dog
must be present to win.
I know all about that. Stubby Dog came in the other day, and it's the wet hot dog smell. It was raining, and he come in. It was like 115.
Water?
He was just, old hot dog water Stubbins dog.
Hot dog water stubbies.
Must be present.
Disclosure.
Yes, run them disclosures for me, Dizzle.
Must be present to win, obviously. If you are here, make sure and just announce yourself in chat. We'll find it. Canadian Brethren.
He's here.
He's here.
He is here.
Yeah, hopefully you're not.
If you're in Canada, hopefully you and Debo can work something out.
Yep.
Sorry, he's not going to send the gift card or something like that.
Congrats on winning, bud. That's what you win for winning.
Make sure you go ahead and send that their email, DEBO'S@gmail.com. Send them an email with a picture of your YouTube like icon page, profile, whatever you want to say, just to make sure there aren't any people out there trying to pull shenanigans and little sneaky snake action, trying to steal them good giveaways.
That's an interesting disclaimer. I like that.
Yeah, I had one written out, which Mr. Brown Baitcoat was supposed to record and send the way of Debo.
So real quick, I will say the wet dog smell. Send me a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it's you. We have had imposters. Actually, funny enough, has anybody received an email? I had 2 people asking. I don't know if this is some other BS scam from idiots, but 2 people on Instagram, and I don't know. They look kind of shady. Like, okay, hold on. I knew something was off. YouTube says I was the winner of. Oh, YouTube said I was the winner of a gift. Okay, I'll have to go back. These pricks must be back again in the comments. He said it was an email, but he corrected himself. Okay, so never mind. Never mind on that. I thought there was a new thing going on, but yeah. If anybody, real quick, just PSA. I hate that I have to do this because I would love to find these people and just choke them out like I do Dizzle when we're fishing. But there's comments on YouTube that'll say like, "Oh, congrats, you won. Call me at this thing or email me or some bull crap." It's not my thing messaging you. I will never have you call me as a winner. Text me. And the email will be from me, my email thing. So yeah, those are scammers. They're idiots. If you win, I will reply to you from my account and usually pin your comment unless there's multiple winners on a video. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with all that, but stupid scammer. So wet dog smell, send me a screenshot of your YouTube so I know it's you with your address, and I will get you a box of lures.
Nice.
Okay, what else we got? What else we got, boys? Man, the comments are absolutely rolling through here. This has been a fun one.
This is nice. Oh, I didn't
There
tell you
was
the price. I didn't tell you the price on the
oh yeah,
EPDL.
yeah.
6G.
Ooh, yeah, that's what I was guessing for like a trolling motor, like 5,000 or something.
Yeah, I think I was actually wrong. I don't think it's
Sheesh.
36. I think it's like more between 4,000 and 5,000 for the autopilot. I've never really priced them out, but that after I said it, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because my pedal drive is like 3,200 anyways. It's Siberia.
Oh yeah. If I message you from Siberia, you will know that is
Nigerian prince. Got it.
yeah.
Nigerian.
The only way I can get back is if you send me $10 million. Yeah, you'll know if anybody's messaged you from a place that sounds colder than Iowa, you will know for sure it's not me because I would die.
Is there a whole lot that's colder in Iowa?
Yes, there
Are you like
is.
Quad City, Iowa, like in that area?
I'm in the Cedar Rapids area, so I'm in southeastern Iowa.
Okay.
It's actually, as much as I rag on it, I love the Midwest. I grew up on my grandparents had a farm. I would not trade this Midwest stuff for anything except warmer weather in the winter. That's the only thing I hate is snow. Despise it. I absolutely hate it. Hate snow with all my heart. I'm not used to it. But the Midwest, like, funny enough, when we're driving on dirt roads, going to a fishing spot, and I smell manure, like it literally takes me back to either my grandparents or hanging with my buddies. I love the smell of cow manure. Cow manure and pig crap smell different. Pig crap is disgusting. Cow manure always takes me back to like good times.
Nostalgia.
Call me weird, but
yeah, that's what I will call you weird. That's
okay.
A little weird. Look at this little space.
Hey, well, that just takes me back. There was the back highway roads, two lane roads, I had to follow one time during the summer. I had to follow an open-aired dump truck with like a tarp over the top.
Oh.
And all I could see is parts of pigs sticking out, hooves and things like that.
No, that was the deer truck. That's the scrape truck. That's the roadkill scrape truck.
They were pig hoof legs.
Oh,
they were
really?
Not furry brown.
Pieces?
They were, yes, and it was the
living
worst.
in the Midwest. I have seen the scrape truck, which is obviously deer and raccoons and all those things get hit around here.
That is your property if you do hit one, right? You're legally able to take that home and have
you
it
are not
processed.
unless you contact DNR first.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a part of the process.
Well,
but it is your deer to do that with.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, it also depends too. I think there's something that
the sheriff will ask you as well.
Yeah, something goes to it. But yeah, my buddy hit a deer and took it. I mean, it was broken neck and there was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And
is that a way to get extra meat? Is just drive around the big old truck with a brush guard and just clip them at night?
Well, see, they'll get onto that. Yeah, you're spotlighting running over deer. They'll get.
I had a doe bend my hood over at a 90-degree angle over the headlight, and then have its head come through the driver's side window, and just like that was a eye opener. Late at night, you're driving home.
Speed me. Yep.
This is amazing. This is our salt
highway
trucks
stakes.
Drop their belly blade and shoot the roadkill off the ditch. That's forget about scraping it off. Just hit it at a speed where it blows it over the guardrail. Yeah. That makes sense.
Let's see. I had another question. Then we got into poop and roadkill talk, and that completely killed the thought process. I had something. I don't know. What do you guys got? We'll go for a few more minutes here. We still got 210 people watching us talk about roadkill and poop. So got to have some diehards in here. What would you say? What would you say? Okay, how do I rephrase this? Boat, bank, or yak? What do you think is uncommon maybe, or like a lesser known like perk to having it? So maybe not like, okay, boat, obviously they're big, you can stand on it and fish. Great. I hate sitting down and fishing, like not my deal. Like that's obvious. But like, do you think there's okay, so I'll go. I'm gonna steal kind of bank from you, Dizzle, but you can do a different bank one. So for mine, kind of when Wendell was talking about being secret and stuff, like with a tube, you can, from the bank, especially when the fish are up shallow, fall coming up here, we're going to have fish moving up shallow, chasing bait. From the bank, you often have a way to be stealthy. Like I wear rubber boots, like knee boots now. And like if you had wading stuff, you could certainly do that too, but they're just hot as hell. I wear knee boots so I can go out at least a couple feet. The water's so far down here. You can get out, off the bank a little bit. And be stealthy that way. So that's something I feel like people don't think about enough from the bank. It's like, I'm going to find a spot and just like post up, like move around and be stealthy. I think is kind of a bank thing that people don't talk about enough. Maybe not. I don't know. What do you boys got?
Mine's a little different angle.
Okay.
So it's not like fishing. It's not fishing tactical per se. So one of the things I didn't realize when I was getting into the kayak fishing kind of realm is the tight knit like community of other kayak anglers, right? And I don't know. I see a lot of boats doing this. You guys tell me, do a lot of bank anglers do this? But a lot of times, like, hey, I want to go fishing with you, and so they'll drive like 45 minutes. You meet up at the spot, say hey, and you kind of fish within the realm, but you don't have to be on top of each other because you can go say hi in like a few minutes. I would imagine bank anglers don't gather up and then disperse because you're all dispersing to the same spots, right?
Yeah.
And so
not really. Dizzle does that, and I still haven't found a way to like get away from him. He'll be like, oh,
kind of
yeah,
like the jet ski thing. He's just right behind you while you fish.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be awkward.
Yeah, the other day I was sitting on the bench. I was a little tired, and I had my backpack and stuff there, just sitting there fishing. And I just felt like a hand on my shoulder, and I turned around and there was Dizzle, like cuddled right up to me.
Is this the live of lies?
No, dude. Everything that I've said, all the stories I've shared with you tonight with Dizzle are 100% true.
I believe. I'm a believer.
Factual.
I'm a believer. The second thing, this one's kind of cool, non-fishing related, is that I can't tell you, like, being that you're not making a lot of noise, especially with a pedal drive kayak, you're almost like silent. The amount of wildlife that I roll up on,
Cool.
Like raccoons, or no one's spooked by you. Like I can roll up on like blue herons and they don't move. Like, oh, check that mongoose out. I haven't seen one. I've seen one this year. It's crazy the things that you roll up on. You're like, oh wow. So I really like kind of that and being so low to the water, right? I just like put my hand in the water or close to it. I lip my bass with. I don't have to move, like bend over. I can just kind of. I'm right there.
That's a really good point. Yeah. That is really neat. You feel like one with the water down, like sitting in the yak. That it is a really cool experience. It's like when you drive a like my truck now. Like I didn't realize how I used to have an HHR. I know I sound like a 98-year-old man, but like some of the cars and stuff, like you feel so low and tiny. And like this is kind of the opposite. I hate that in like driving. Now that I have a truck, it's like I will never ever go back to anything besides a truck because I feel like I was driving like a go-kart. So opposite of yakking, where you feel like you're one with nature. I like to be not one with the asphalt. So let's see. Dizzle, how about you? You got one? Do you have a hidden gem of the way that you fish?
No, not really. I mean, I do like the whole idea and the whole thought of it, like fishing, especially on like extremely stressful days or like something comes up. Like fishing is a great way to just get out there and do. Like I don't have to think about fishing. I can just go out and fish. I can just do it. And I don't have to think about anything. I could just stop thinking about like stressful stuff that's going on. You know what I mean? It's a great stress reliever, and overall it can be fairly cheap once you get into it. It's not like I have to go to the golf course and pay $120 for greens fees and whatever. I can pretty much use the stuff that I already have.
No. Once you get addicted to fishing, cheap is no longer in the talks.
DEBO'S been addicted to fishing. He ends up with that back there.
That's another thing. We need to do a deal of how to deal with fishing addictions when you can't fish. Because if you can't fish, there's a few things I'm addicted to. Shopping for fishing tackle. Okay. I don't do that as much. I've actually done.
Is that what you're?
Yeah. Like when you can't go out and be fishing, or like we have that horrible word that I dare to utter here in the Midwest called.
Don't say it.
Winter. When you can't go out and fish. I mean, you can ice fish, but it's just not the same. I like it. I will say I've definitely turned on ice fishing now that I have a hut. Completely different experience having a hut and fishing. But anyway, you could make jigs, out in the garage. You could paint stuff if you have an airbrush, paint baits. But like Dad and I were talking, he's like, I like to just go sit and look at my stuff. He's like, when I can't fish, like he does that with his pew-pews too. He'll just like look at them, and like take them apart and like clean them and like mess with them.
Funny enough, I don't think I've ever cleaned a fishing reel, but I've cleaned those constantly.
I can see that, Dizzle. Go ahead.
I
wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
No. Whoop, yep, whoop, no. Anyway, yeah, like we should do a video on that. Like, okay, I can't fish. What are fun things to do when you can't go out and fish? Yeah, because like I'll literally just come down here and just start messing with reels and like putting them on different combos, see how they feel. Like, which one feels better in my hand? This, like, I'm a complete nerd. My wife will come and be like, "What are you doing?" Like, I'm just playing with my fishing stuff, and she'll give me the.
You're like, nothing. I'm not doing anything.
No, I'm just playing with my fishing. Put the blanket up over me real quick.
Yeah, too bad it's an Afghan.
Ooh, good shout out. My mom always said, "Get your feet off the Davenport and don't put your dirty shoes on the Afghan."
The Davenport is the couch.
It's a couch, old school for the couch. No, actually, it was my grandparents. I should say. Mom didn't, but yeah.
Or it's one of the cities in the Quad Cities. That's what I thought of.
Oh yeah, Davenport.
Davenport.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's what I thought you were referencing.
No, so were you close to the Quad Cities before?
Well, the only reason I know because during college, one of my spring breaks, we actually drove out to the Quad Cities, which I thought was just the most ridiculous thing ever. It's not where you go on spring break. My buddy lived there. What are you
going there for?
Yeah.
Okay.
We essentially played video games.
It's like I'm going to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, we're going down to Miami. Where are you going? Quad Cities, Davenport. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. You know what I realized earlier? I said mongoose. There's I don't think mongoose live in like Africa.
Yeah, those are
I think
they kill cobras.
It's a weasel, I think.
That's what I saw.
Or a mink or something crazy like that.
Oh, a mink or
the
a
long,
muskrat.
slender body.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, weasel.
That's all I know.
Yep.
Weasel,
we call them marmots.
Yeah, we call them marmots.
Yeah, if we can't tell what they are, the marmot.
They're all marmots. Just
yeah.
Any four-legged animal on the side.
Well, any four-legged swimming. As long as it's not a beaver, it's a marmot of some sort.
Oh, we got a ton of beavers up here. They're pretty aggressive.
Let me ask you.
Yeah, there was a gigantic beaver. Barry, why is the door locked? Oh, just playing with my Corrado, honey. Leave the door locked. There was a giant. So the place that I went today, I was able to walk all the way around this lake, which I've never done, and I thought I might die afterwards. Luckily, I didn't. But there was 2 beaver dams I had to walk over, and one I walked over that was like a fresher one, and it come out like, I don't know, maybe like 10 yards from me, and was pissed. Dude, this thing had a big head. Yeah, and then bam, tail slap and gone.
Cool. Do you guys have it seems like there's a combo between not that much rain that we desperately need and river otters.
Ooh.
Do you guys have river otters much there?
They'll destroy in West Virginia is the last time I saw a river otter.
River otters will get into they'll
everything.
kill just to kill, and they won't even eat the full fish. They'll just be like, oh, took a bite, ready to go kill something else. Yeah, river otters are the worst ever.
Interesting.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, very well could be, I think they're protected in some way, shape, or form. Like there's not a season for them, or
you can trap them. Yeah, they're only in trapping season, but I think there's a certain. I don't know if you have to go by tags or season, but yeah, I like them. They're cute little guys. I just wish they weren't anywhere in any of my waters because I hate them.
Deathbringers.
Yeah, Colin, exactly. Wolves and otters are the same thing. Yeah, I could see that. If I had a farm and I was a farmer, they're a beautiful animal you love to hate and not want anywhere around you.
Do you guys have rouses where you guys are at?
Have what?
Rouse.
Grouse?
Rouse. R-O-U-S.
What is that?
Sorry,
I don't know what that is.
No one's getting the movie reference here. Rodents of unusual size.
Oh yeah. What is that?
Gosh.
What movie is that?
Princess Bride.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yes. I was like so right there.
Sorry, it came out of left field. That was way out there.
Yeah. I like it. I love the movie
Deep
references.
The movie's amazing.
Here's a question: if you were a police officer, and our planet had been invaded by a predator, such as the predator from the movies, that fights the
Predator.
aliens. Yeah, the movie Predator. Okay, well, here I'll just cut to the chase. Predator 2. Danny Glover carries a Desert Eagle 50 cal. And Dizzle said that was unnecessary and not
I
lifelike.
said it was
not
totally unrealistic.
unrealistic. So listen,
Yes.
what would you carry if you were a police officer and Predator had invaded? I don't think
It's
that's
not that
unrealistic.
Predator he didn't carry it because Predator invaded it. He was carrying it just because that's what he wanted to carry and it looked good for the movie. You realize like unloaded those things are like 8 pounds, right?
Well, but you never know when you're going to stumble on a wolf,
Rouse.
a rouse,
Yes.
Yeah.
or a predator.
True.
So, see, I don't think that's.
Have you ever shot one? I have. It's not fun. It is fun. It's awesome.
That sounds
but
violent.
it is very violent. Very.
What's the gun at the end of Tremors that they used? Wasn't that like
That's like an elephant gun.
That's an elephant
Yeah.
gun. That's what I would be carrying around.
He'd carry off.
things are huge.
He'd do the cut off mare's leg elephant gun.
Oh,
Good luck.
there's that one
Goodbye.
of your favorite
wrist.
Googie Debo where Lunkers is in Africa and he shoots one and they're double barreled and he accidentally pulls both of the triggers at the same time.
Oh.
And so they both go off, which is, it almost flies out of his hands. It is the scariest thing I've ever seen next to Kentucky Ballistics when his 50 cal went off. But it is
Yikes.
ridiculous.
Kid Icarus, great video game.
Yes,
by
Kid
the way.
Icarus. I'm looking at it right now. Kid Icarus is right over there.
Let's see. Oh, yeah. People getting the Princess
Oh.
Bride.
My favorite thing to
Dude, if
my
you shoot
favorite thing to
otters,
do in the downtime,
brown bait, you
non-fishing
need
time.
you
Go
need
ahead.
to skin one of those otters. Hold on, Dizzle. I got a good otter
Make a
talk
bait
here.
out of it.
Oh.
Yeah, and do like what was the Japanese bait that sold for like $600 or whatever? That's that leather wrapped and they sewed around it. Remember that one, Brendan?
What?
Brendan will know what I'm talking about. It's a big bait, and it's like leather wrapped and they sewed it. You need to do that with an otter skinned jointed swim bait, realistic otter fur. Oh my gosh, dude, you could sell that for
Something.
money.
Anyway, what was I gonna?
Anyway, what were you gonna say, Dizzle? Yeah, it probably was not.
Oh, a favorite thing for me to do, like especially in the wintertime, is to go and look at all of my stuff and be like, man, I really need to organize that, and then walk away, and then just do that
Yeah.
often. God,
like,
I need to get that organized.
Like your 7 terabytes of video. Just walk away.
Yeah,
look at
I
that.
really need to do
Dude, I
something.
really
with
need
that,
to do a
turn around and
video.
walk away.
Buy another 5 terabyte and fill that one up.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Will you actually get around to editing that?
Yeah. So here's the worst thing about it is I have a very bad time of not. So Debo's really good at cutting his clips down when he's out filming. Like he cuts his clips down. You don't let it go more than
Oh, you
what,
loop.
15 minutes at most.
No, I don't, Wendell. Dude, I've screwed myself so many times with that.
Right.
So I am manual on off, and I've really, really, really had to train myself because I've missed catches still to this day. But yeah, I've not liked it because I shouldn't say I've screwed myself, Wendell. So many things happen that I don't think about to hit it real quick. It's the opposite of remembering to turn it on when I want to get stuff.
Right.
So
It's like the fun time I almost caught the owl from the Dangle Frogs.
Yeah.
Or, just random stuff like that people don't really talk about when they go fishing. They're like, oh, I caught this big fish, but never going to talk about the owl you almost caught,
Or the heron that I had hooked for a hot minute with my spinnerbait, and I thought I was going to have to wrangle that thing off.
Oh, wow. See, I would watch that like 4 or 5 times. It was cut into a short.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
funny.
Beaver, and catch anything other than a fish. Now I get excited. That'd be interesting to watch.
I watched
hell, I could hook
Debo go
Dizzle
full
on
on
one to
Steve
turn into-
Irwin and like take down a
I love
freaking
animal stuff.
giant snapping turtle.
Dude, outside of fishing, I love watching animal documentaries and learning about them.
How big do you think that snapping turtle was that you caught on the what was it?
The
one rig?
Tokyo rig. The only
Yeah, the
two things
Tokyo
I've ever
rig.
caught on Tokyo rigs are snapping turtles twice.
How big do you think that one was?
I don't know, 20 pounds maybe?
On 12-pound fluorocarbon.
Oh, wow.
15-pound fluorocarbon.
Or 15.
And
And
I
he
wrist my fingers to get it out with pliers.
got it
dove
out.
on it like Steve
Yeah.
Irwin.
Tip my hat to
Crocodile
you for
Hunter
even
style.
trying.
I was like, two things
Yeah.
are going to happen. I'm either going to get it out and it'll be fun, or it's going to bite a finger off. So
Mhm.
going for it. It was a regular snapping turtle. I would not do that with an alligator snapping turtle. Complete difference in bite strength. Let's look it up real quick since I like animal
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm interested.
jeez.
I'm like teaching my girls right now about snapping turtles, and I don't know if
They're-
this is right or wrong, but I'm like scaring them into it that they can like shoot their necks out the length of their bodies. Is that true or false?
Their range of
can.
motion is very big.
I don't know the exact length, but yes, they can
Okay.
jet out.
Yeah.
What, like right behind the head on the top of the shell? That's no.
So
There's like a spot that's safe to hold on to.
That's the difference. Regular snapping turtles can move their heads all the way back behind them and bite
Oh,
you.
It could get you.
Alligator snapping turtles cannot because of their physiology and build. So alligator snapping turtles that have the beak, you can grab them behind the head by the shell and lift them up. Regular
They
snapping
get way
turtles
bigger
try
though
that.
too, though, right? The alligator
Yeah.
ones.
I'm
get
checking
huge.
bite strength here. Bite strength of regular human is the first thing. Of regular snapping turtle.
Mm-mm.
Bite force of regular snapping turtle, 208 newtons. But it shows a picture of an alligator snapping turtle.
Interesting.
Can a
How does
common
a
snapping
newton
turtle bite a finger off?
formulate?
Let's see.
How do you know?
I'm going
what
to
is
say
different?
no. I don't think a regular snapping turtle can bite
Yeah.
a finger off.
They'll take a digi off for sure.
I don't think they can. I would say no. I'm putting bets on that.
I'm saying
Alligator?
yes.
Yes, they can.
Both.
A
Yes.
snapping turtle can bite a finger off considering the huge size, the sharp jaw. But again, it's a picture of an alligator snapping turtle. Two different things.
I don't catch enough of them to know. Like, is the alligator ones have like the spines on the back of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So two families are available in the U.S. The average weight of a common snapping turtle is 10 to 30 pounds. The
Jeez.
bulkiest on record is 75, whereas an alligator snapping turtle average weight is 155 to 170
Jeez.
pounds. Some turtle species have been seen to grow over 200 pounds.
Were the alligators more south? Or are they everywhere?
I think they're more southern.
Okay, yeah.
No, we have them around here, but I
Shut
think,
up. No, we
the big
don't.
ones- Yes, we do.
I'm done fishing.
Bite your toe off. You have guessed they have
He just entered
powerful-
into kayak fishing. He is done bank fishing.
God, I've seen them. I've seen snapping turtles like follow up lures, and I'm just like, oh, like backing up as quick as possible, trying to get my man.
Etiquette said they could bite a broomstick in half.
Did Debo freeze? Please tell
Oh,
me Debo
no.
froze. Oh, damn.
So, can a snapping turtle bite your toe off? From the above, you may have guessed how powerful and severe snapping turtle bites can be. Though the common snapping turtle leaves a memorable scar, the alligator snapping turtle can definitely take a toe off. Yes, they are far, far, far more dangerous.
Interesting.
Turtle
more
Man
you-
Debo live action.
The more you know. I did not know
Yes.
that. Also glad I live in the north because I don't know, kayak fishing with gators and all that fun stuff. Hard pass, folks.
God,
Randy slowly
forget that
watched him.
noise.
Dude, what happened to Turtle Man? I loved watching his
Did he?
Oh,
his
No,
show.
he didn't die. That was somebody else. I don't know how many
only near the
reels.
Mississippi. Yeah, I should say that. Yeah, usually near the rivers. I don't see him out here in ponds and stuff. Maybe, I guess, but yeah.
is that why you
Usually
see a lot of
really-
people like grabbing their tails and pulling them out?
You
they
don't
can,
want to
like,
grab their
reach it
tails.
back? No.
So that's another thing with snapping turtles. You do not want to grab their tails because you can dislocate their spine and kill them. And it's a very painful death for them. So if you grab a snapping turtle by the shell, by the back legs, and then a hand under it. But remember, they can zip around, so don't get too close to the front legs.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hard pass on anything turtle related.
Turtle, snake related. I pick up random snakes. Fun fact, Dizzle's scared of snakes too, just like
I'm
spiders.
not really scared of snakes. I'm just not down with them. I hate spiders. Mm-mm. I saw one that was about the size of a 50-cent piece today running around the bank, and I was like, I'm going over this way.
I
Yeah,
have
Give him a
a
wide berth.
distinct memory growing up of my down at my grandpa's house, and they had turtles in their lake they were trying to get rid of, and they cut the head off of this snapping turtle. And we came back like an hour later, and the head was still like doing the thing.
Still trying to bite.
It was still trying to bite an hour later. Like just
Mm-mm.
crazy.
No, thank you.
We used to eat snapping turtle stew. I used to go with my grandpa. He would trap them in other people's ponds. And he would take the old coffee cans with like screws put forward so they could like get their head in to get the bait, and they couldn't get their head out, and they would drown.
It's like a torture device.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of gross. But yeah, I remember eating snapping turtle when I was younger. Who knows what else out there?
Come down.
Rabbit, squirrel. It's actually really good. People think they're gross, but they both taste good. Let's see what else we got for questions. We're at 2 hours. I'll be conscious of Wendell's time. Wendell, what else do you got for us? I think we're probably rolling. Let's do 2 more questions. 2 more yak, boat, anything fun questions. We'll find a couple here. Dizzle, what do you got?
A random question.
Okay.
Have you had any experience with like they're almost like a pontoon kayak type of deal where it's more?
Oh, I've
it's
seen those.
wider?
Yeah.
Sometimes they have like a smaller deck on them, or it's like a seat and then like not much room in front or back of you. Have you ever experienced any of those or tried?
Are you talking about like the Bass Raiders that you can pull up and get at like Bass Pro Shops? No.
No, I know what he's talking about.
Okay, you're talking about the Skyworks kayak.
Maybe
It's kind of like a Bass Raider, but instead you have 2 distinct pontoons on either side, and there's a small like deck or platform that your seat would go on top of.
Yes, Blue Sky Boatworks 360 Angler by Jackson. Is that what you're talking about? If you look that bad boy up,
think so.
I would absolutely love to get on one of those. A few of the people who communicate through the Wendell fishing community have those, and they send me photos. Like, man, that sounds like a sweet.
What
ride.
did you say it was?
The Jackson Skyworks, Blue Sky Boatworks 360 Angler. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, very similar to something like that. Yep.
Yeah, that looks friggin' awesome to me. And you could put on a double pontoon like that. I've seen people put the power poles.
Oh yeah,
because they have essentially you could put 2 motors back there. You can do all kinds of stuff to it. So, I think that one runs. I think I just saw it on the website like $5,000. Yeah, for what it is. I mean, $5,000.
I mean, this is basically a boat. I mean, you're not too far off of a John boat on this.
Not when you get to what you're looking at there. Yeah. A lot of room. You can stand up. There's a lot of room on that thing. I think that seat swivels as well.
Yep.
Pedal drive.
The pedal drive looks a little weird on the picture I'm looking at here, where you're.
Well, what you're looking at is
really high, kind of. I don't know.
If you push the lever down, that prop comes up to that hole, and that's how you clean it. And then once you're done cleaning it, in case you got into the weeds, you put it back down and pop it down so you can't see it anymore. That's kind of what you're looking at.
So what this looks like is it almost looks like a before they had the newer like Peloton stationary bikes. It's like one of those things where it's just the feet pedals and you would just sit in a regular chair or whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
It almost looks like that. Yeah.
Kind of. That makes sense. I mean, if you want to get a workout, like pedal drive kayaks, where to go, right? If you're like, okay, I want to justify my fishing addiction as exercise.
Right.
Get paddle, go straight to pedal, because that's how you get your cardio up. It's nonstop.
Yeah, they looked. I've always wondered, and I came across as we were talking here. I just pulled up Facebook Marketplace just to see like secondhand kayaks of what's like around this area.
Yeah,
there's quite a few actually, but somebody had one that was similar to that I pulled up, and so I took a look at that, and I always wondered if you tried it. I'll talk to a lot of kayakers in the wild, I guess. On here, there's a few, but yeah.
So cool. The secondary fishing kayak market right now is insane.
What do you mean?
Everyone during COVID, I need to get 6. Everyone bought one, and now it's sitting in the garage, and they're significant others like, I'd like to pull my car in. Winter is coming. And so
winter is coming.
So they try to move it on Facebook Marketplace or wherever they sell it. And so the secondary market is so large, it's affecting the primary market and those sales.
Oh yeah.
So very interesting.
Yeah.
Chad Hoover and I just did a hour and a half show on this, and it's going to be released in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that. But he kind of goes in. He's been doing it for like 30 years, right? And so he has a lot of context for what he says. And I was just sitting there just fascinated by the kind of the state of kayak fishing right now.
Okay, so the question we're going to end it on, this is kind of one I touched on earlier, but I don't know how much you get into like stability and bigger people.
Yeah.
What would be a good kayak for larger people?
So you
'Cause this
really,
is one-
what's one of the most stable fishing kayaks on the market? Is kind
yeah,
of the
like a
question.
couple of them. Yeah. What are like
Yeah.
like if you're a bigger dude?
This is not
Cal.
my core expertise. There's a lot of other channels out there who this is what they do. They flip kayaks and stability.
Hmm.
Stability. The problem with stability is that there's so many different factors. But one of the main factors is the boat, right? The hull, and how wide it is. Of course, the wider you get, depending on the hull type. Fan favorite for a big person kayak, some of the best stability on the market, I keep hearing over and over again, never been in one, is the New Canoe Unlimited. Over and over
Not heard of
again,
that one.
I love the New Canoe Unlimited. It's just I think it's 41 or 42 inches when the normal fishing kayak is between 32 and 36 inches. So it's just wide.
Echo fishing,
Wide.
is that
No,
Echo
the new
fishing, the name of it?
NU Canoe.
Yeah, NU Canoe. I'm looking NU Unlimited Fishing Kayak. Is that what you were kind of?
New Canoe Unlimited. It runs like $1,800. I'm looking at right
Yep.
here, and not a whole lot to it, right? Seat and a big old
pretty basic.
wide, pretty basic. But then you can mod it out as you go.
Is it pedal?
No, I think it's paddle. I'm not
Paddle,
sure.
yep.
There might be a pedal drive version. I don't know a whole lot about it, to be honest with you. That's the extent. But I know that Chad Hoover done the Fishing with Gramps has done a lot of these, fishing kayaks for big guys. Bearded Dad Fishing did one that just went crazy, a video on it recently. So there's a lot of research already done out there if you're interested.
Gotcha.
In that.
Okay. We're not going to hold you to it. We're picking your brain being a kayak.
No,
guy,
it's
so.
all good. That's what I got.
It's recorded now, so if it's
Yep,
wrong,
we got
you're
it here.
done
So if
for.
it's wrong, we're
Blow
holding to
me
it.
up.
Speaking
Unsubscribe.
of, that's a perfect way to segue into this. Where can we find you, Wendell? Where can the folks find you? Everybody go give them a sub, a subscribe, a follow, a good dude. Where are you at?
Yeah, it's at Wendell Fishing, every platform. I don't know how I did that, but
damn, good
I
score.
know, right?
SEO, SEO, whatever that thing's called.
Yeah, that
SEO.
search engine optimization. Yeah, so TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Those are the 4.
SEO, man, he knows about the search engine stuff too. And if you get in trouble, he will help you relocate mongoose in your area as well.
Yes,
so, as he's done in Ohio.
At one point I was listening to this podcast, this YouTuber, and he's like, "Oh, I make mistakes on purpose in my videos, so people will correct me because YouTube doesn't care if it's a good, positive comment or negative comment.
Oh my
it's just
gosh.
interaction.
Comment's a comment.
Yeah, so he would actually on purpose make mistakes. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to start doing that, and I quickly realized I don't need to do that. I make mistakes
It just happens
all the time. I say things that in post edit, I'm like, what in the world am I saying? That came out wrong. That's not what I meant to say. So I was like, how about I just continue to be me and let the mistakes flow like wine? So I don't know.
Rob, thank you, dude. That's an excellent way to end it here with a good appreciated post. Really enjoyed tonight, Debo. One of the best lives in my opinion. Well, thank you, man.
Nice.
I'm trying to come up with more fun things. I've got a number of guests coming up. There's some folks that I've been meaning to have on. Some fun stuff coming up, and that's, I always say that for me, 100% the best comment I can get or feedback on this is it's like, dude, I would love to open a dad pop, sit around a campfire and talk fishing with Debo, and that's what his lives are like. That's it. I'm not looking to be famous. I'm not a pro. I'm not going to come on here and tell you, hey, you want to win tournaments, $100,000? I'll tell you had to, boy. No,
Put
I
your
just
lure in the water and you catch the fish.
Yeah.
Done.
Throw out the googie baits like Dizzle does, and you catch a whole bunch of fake 5-pounders. But no, we love you, Wendell. Thanks for hopping on, dude. I appreciate it, man. Dizzle, as much as I give you a razz, I love you, buddy. I'm sorry. And actually, I'm wearing Husker colors tonight. I feel kind of dirty. So listen, we're getting out of here. Love you all. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again next Saturday. So until next time.